Welcome back to Truist Field here in Uptown Charlotte as we get set for the sixth and final game of this 7:04 outdoor face-off. Chris Lehman alongside Nick Norrid. We'll also have Adam Persico alongside us as well shortly, and Kendall Smith down ringside as we get into the game. And Nick, this is going to be a fantastic matchup tonight between Charlotte and App State, and this is really kind of the foundational matchup, the one that we've seen the most here at Truist Field.
Absolutely. This is the decision breaker. As the series is tied 1-1 between these teams, they sort of established a rivalry with each other, even though one of the teams is ACHA D2, the other is D3. But they've established a rivalry. Lots of players from Charlotte on each of these teams, so it's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really interesting one and should be a nice back and forth matchup as well. But as you can see behind us, they're just about set. Had a little bit of a delay, and that's always a bit of an issue if you're in North Carolina trying to play outdoor hockey in November. The ice conditions will certainly play a role tonight.
That's always something you're going to get with hockey in the South. So obviously there's been a few issues with the ice, but App and Charlotte are used to this. It's the same thing happened last year.
Oh yeah, and it certainly will force these two teams to play a really simple game. They're going to have to just get in the dirty areas and win the puck there. But as we talk about this event a little bit more, this is the biggest event that they've put on in terms of college hockey here so far. We had 3 games over the course of the winter last year. We've had 6 games, including this one, over 2 weekends. It's a great college hockey event.
It really is. I mean, to be able to play outdoor hockey in the South itself is just amazing, Chris. And for all of these teams to start building up series with each other and start being able to create rivalries and make this an event that fans can look forward to year in and year out, it's amazing.
It is a fantastic place to play hockey. We've had 2 overtime games already this weekend. The ECU Pirates with a come-from-behind victory on Thursday, and last night it was the Georgia Ice Dogs who came from behind over the Virginia Tech Hokies. We're looking for another good one tonight. When we come back, it'll be Adam joining Nick to talk App State. App State and Charlotte coming up shortly.
preparing for this game, the Mountaineers travel on down the mountain to take on Charlotte, who we have established is a rival. This is the third time they are taking them, but Nick, you and I have had the pleasure of covering App State hockey for the past couple years. You've actually gone to more games than I have this year. So what have you seen out of this App State team so far this year?
Absolutely. Compared to last year, I've seen a lot more depth within this roster. This is the first year that the Mountaineers have been able to cycle through a full 4 lines on both offense and defense. So just that alone has helped bring up endurance, bring up strength and intensity, and ultimately get some more goals in the net, even at the D2 level compared to D3 last year.
Yeah, and Nick just touched on it. This is the first year of the Mountaineers playing at the D2 club level after spending a multitude of years at the D3 level. They managed not to win in the playoffs last year, but they had a strong showing throughout the year. They have a strong group of juniors specifically. We'll get into them here in a moment, but they have a lot of talented players that were ready to make that jump up to D2. I mean, Nick, so far up to this point, there have been a lot of familiar faces in the Mountaineers that some of our viewers might not know. Who on this App State team are you looking at right now, specifically in that crop of juniors?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to look toward Jason Beck, who was the point leader for the Mountaineers last year. And coming in, he's already a Charlotte kid. He's gone against most of these players on this UNC Charlotte club. And, I mean, he's going to come out with passion and truly a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and Jason Beck playing on that first line tonight with Arnett and Tremont, a line you would be familiar with if you've actually seen App State hockey. Beck being that point getter, actually breaking records last year for points in a single season for an App State hockey player. So Jason Beck looking to recapture some of that magic this year, especially here in his hometown for Charlotte. But as we're getting ready to get closer to the game, what are you most looking forward to tonight, Nick?
I'm looking for a chippy hockey game. These two teams, they hate each other, and I can't wait to see it in action here tonight.
So don't go anywhere. We're excited to see some App State and Charlotte hockey.
We are the Mountaineers.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. The Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls, and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyu.samhsa.gov.
When you look at me, you might see
A person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
A warrior mom.
an endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
Is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is opportunity, energy, innovation, community, and results. This isn't a typical university. It's Charlotte. Of the 3 top 75 public research universities in North Carolina, only one powers its fastest growing city. The difference is Charlotte.
We're just a few minutes away from puck drop. You can hear it getting loud as the Mountaineers head out onto the ice here at Truist Field. Chris Lehman back alongside Adam Krasicko as we get set for period number one. We want to turn our focus to the team that is still down there in the locker room, and that is the Charlotte 49ers as they come in. A lot of turnover, a lot of their roster, over half of it is underclassmen this year, but they're coming off of a strong weekend, 3-0 at the DC Showcase last weekend, and of course an 8-5 record coming into today doesn't necessarily show that they're a young team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have a litany of talented guys, and not only just North Carolina guys. You look at this App State roster, comprised of a lot of local guys. Charlotte, you have players coming down from Jersey, players coming down from New England. You have players all over the place that are really looking to energize this Charlotte roster that really won this game handily last year, too. So it should be a new look for the Mountaineers, but also a new look for Charlotte as they've been figuring it out to start this year.
Oh, yeah, and as we take a look at a couple of players to keep an eye on in those gold uniforms tonight for Charlotte, we're going to start on the front end. Who's the guy to look out for there?
Yeah, I think the guy up there is going to be Bauman, similar to what you see on the back end. But Bauman has solidified himself as one of the point producers, one of the point getters on this team this year. He's become a top-line guy. He's wearing a letter. He's a guy that they want to lean on throughout, even though he's been a younger, newer guy to the roster.
And then on the back end, a big anchor in Behrman. He plays a lot of minutes.
Right, and Behrman, they told us, plays about 40 minutes a game. That's a guy they lean on heavily, but he's proven his worth up to this point, deserving those 40 minutes a game.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're about to see the Charlotte 49ers take the ice. We're going to come back with Puck Drop from Truist Field after this. Yeah, we don't really have to use it much, especially since they're right there, but we got talk back there if you need it. This will adjust your volume in your headset. Okay. This will adjust mine. To play some hockey here in Uptown Charlotte. Chris Lehman alongside Adam Persico as we get set for period number 1 between the Charlotte 49ers and the App State Mountaineers. And Adam, this is going to be a fantastic game, or should be. The atmosphere probably going to be the best that we've seen of all 6 games. I can tell you from being at the first 5, I think the walkout pregame was at least as loud as any point in any of the other games, so emotions will be high.
Yeah, these are 2 schools that love to support athletics. They love to support their teams. They love to support them in all sports. And, you know, the App State fans, they're feeling motivated traveling down the mountain right now. You see a lot of gold in the crowd, but of course, there's a lot of green and gold for Charlotte right now, packing out these stands. They're ready for some hockey.
Oh, yeah. Well, one thing that we kind of hit on a little bit in the pregame that both coaches talked about when we talked with them earlier in the week, it was talking about simplifying their game tonight for a couple of reasons. One, because as we mentioned, it's going to be an emotional game. You've got to try and stay within your lane and not get out of position, not make decisions or plays that you wouldn't try to make in a normal game. But on top of that, as of course we know with the delay to the start of this game, ice conditions are going to play a factor, and keeping the puck on the ice and making those crisp passes around is not going to be the easiest thing to do as this game wears on. So I think simplifying is going to be a big thing.
Yeah, simplifying is absolutely going to be the biggest thing, and both these teams playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion tonight. I mean, both coaches seem to allude to the fact that it's more so whoever wants it more tonight is going to go home and take the win. At least that's what we heard from Coach Mugno with App State. But Charlotte, they have all the energy in the world in the home crowd right now, and their coach told us it's paramount they come out to a fast start. So we'll see what they do here off the puck drop. That could determine a lot for this 49ers hockey team.
You can see Ben Brainin in net for the Niners in those gold uniforms. They'll move left to right across your screen here this evening, at least in the first period. In those black uniforms, App State will move right to left. Off the draw, Charlotte controls, gets a quick shot off the rush, and it'll be pitched back out of the zone by App State. I'll tell you, most of the coaching staffs at this outdoor face-off over the last couple of weekends went with the kind of baseball / varsity jacket theme on the bench. I think I like the App State coaching staff's get up a little bit better. They've gone the Daniel Boone route.
Yeah, they've actually gone with the mascot. It's Yosef, who I saw on the sidelines today at the football game up in Boone. Made his way down here to Charlotte behind the bench to coach the hockey team. At least 3 versions of Yosef back there.
We got a stoppage 43 seconds into this period. App State in their own end here. It'll be Zach Morrow for the Niners on the faceoff.
And App State kind of starting an unorthodox line. They had McCabe centering Brady and Richter, a line that hasn't really played much this year, trying to get something going with a different look just off the puck drop.
Well, it'll be the Neers controlling into the offensive end, handed off by Tremont on the near side and played around the wall by Jason Beck. Puck skitters out into the neutral zone, and App State at the defense will have to track it down. Some tough conditions, and they score. We talked about ice conditions, and Tyson Walters had the puck get hung up in a wet spot, and the 49ers take advantage.
that's just good capitalization on mistakes by the 49ers. You see a loose puck in the offensive zone, being able to jump on it, freeze the goalie, convert on an opportunity like that. You're going to take that every day of the week, as we see Walters here. The puck kind of gets stuck in some water, little forehand, backhand, tucked away behind Weyer for the first goal of the game here for the Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, just a minute and 10 seconds in. And it's Ian Brown, the junior, a Charlotte native, scoring the opening goal of this contest. App State trying to get right back in on the attack. He's overskating the puck there, Riley Brady. And now Charlotte trying to escape a danger of their own as McGlade sends it high and wide. We're seeing the puck bounce around, heavy hit on that near side. But we're seeing a lot of unpredictability out of the ice conditions already here early. Vachaccio will skate it down the left wing and in. Throws it off the side of the goal. He'll track it back down below the goal line. Plays it along. Intended for Bauman. They couldn't connect, and it turns into a board battle along the half wall. Bouncing puck hacked at and cleared by the Mountaineers. And Charlotte will regroup. Other big hit in the neutral zone sent Whaley flying. We've already seen both teams ready to take the contact.
Yeah, and that physicality has been a strength of the Mountaineers over the past couple years. But with it comes a lack of discipline they need to worry about.
There's a chance in front, and they score! Stuffed home on the far side post, and it's 2-0 Niners.
And that's just the Mountaineers have heavy legs right now, unable to curve the front of the net. Charlotte getting bodies around the blue paint, getting greasy goals there, and it's working out. As long as it's in the back of the net, they're going to be happy. And just good work on the doorstep there. And they just extend their lead.
Took a minute and 11 seconds to get that second one. You get a look at it on that far side. Here's a look from behind. It just gets tangled up in there, and eventually it's stuffed home. Looks like it was number 34, Jackson Owenby, who picks up the goal, and just like that, it's 2-0. App State reeling a bit here in the early goings of this contest.
Well, one thing Charlotte said they needed for this game was a fast start. Is 2 goals in the first 2 minutes fast enough for you? The shot goes off a pad there. Knocked out Wayers.
Still loose along the side. But the Mountaineers going to have to figure out how to settle things down here. I think the other thing that's just going to make this game incredibly unpredictable is the ice conditions. Carried in by Jason Beck. He'll throw it around the wall. It'll be scooped back in at the point. And the Mountaineers on the attack now. This is their first time to really get set up in the zone. Out tight, they score! Just like that, it's 2-1.
There's an answer from the Mountaineers. I think we're on pace for a pretty high-scoring game. As I think you mentioned that passing before to me, that we might see a high-scoring affair. I think your prediction might look kind of right at this moment, Chris.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, we're only 3 minutes and 9 seconds in. That's a minute and 3 seconds per goal. On pace for 19 goals a period at that rate. So one of these teams are going to have to eventually slow down, I would imagine. But again, I think ice conditions are playing a huge role here. It's tough to get the puck to settle down, so when someone gets a chance in front, it just becomes hack and whack time, and it's going to be tough for these goaltenders, I think, to deal with the unpredictability.
And in a lot of these games, usually early on, specifically in these outdoor games, you get kind of a feeling out process. 2 teams, 2 schools that haven't seen each other yet this year. Charlotte and App State have already played earlier this year. App State taking that game 5-3. Charlotte knew what they needed to take care of, and they've shown it with those 2 early goals. But App State ready to respond like they did in that first matchup between them.
Yeah, and I think that's where patience is going to really come into play tonight. With the unpredictability we continue to talk about, this game is going to have ebbs and flows, and we're going to see both teams go on runs, so to speak. And here's speaking of runs, a chance on the rush for App State. Shot off the glass from that right wing by Robbie Richter. And now an odd man rush for Charlotte. Back and forth we go. An abbreviated 2-on-1 and a great defensive play by Cam Maresco, who breaks that up and clears the zone. And the hustle play of Brady will, well, I should have negated the icing call. I think this faceoff's going to end up at center ice, or at least it should. not 100% sure why they blew the whistle there, and App State is protesting. They will get it at center ice. But a tough break there for the Neers.
Yeah, Brady had about 2 steps on his defender there, but a bit of a misinadvertent whistle, or inadvertent whistle, and now they'll take the face-off at center ice.
Off the draw, tied up in skates. It eventually squirts loose for the Mountaineers to take over. At the red line, they'll shoot it deep. Rose beats it around the wall. It'll be stopped up, and the Niners can clear. Breakout pass intended for James Sidarko is too long, and now we will get icing and a face-off in the offensive end for App State. Just over 4 minutes gone in this contest. We've seen a combined 7 shots, and 3 of them have found the back of the net.
Yeah, and one thing that I found interesting when talking to the coaches coming into this game was we've heard issues of goalies struggling with the lighting conditions right now, and you have to wonder if that's played a factor in these early goals right now.
Yeah, I believe it was Coach Mugno that mentioned that. Shot off the crossbar. It came right down on the goal line, but didn't cross fully, as App State was close to tying that game inches away. And I think it's that end where App State is defending now for the netminders. They're looking kind of directly into some outfield lights at times. And it's definitely very different sight lines than you would have in those smaller rinks that most of these club teams are playing in on a regular basis.
Well, I don't know many rinks that have the Charlotte skyline hanging out behind one of the nets. It's one of the most beautiful views, hard not to get distracted.
Almost a turnover in a dangerous area for Charlotte, still struggling to break out. And App State will corral Arnett. Shoots it in, and the black jerseys need a full change. Breakout pass again at the defense. App State there for it. That was Johnson. This time Charlotte just decides to carry it in. Shot knocked down by Weyer. And now the Mountaineers back up and out. Picked off by Owenby. Has one of the goals already for the Niners. Back for it, Johnson behind his own net. Plays it around for McCabe. They'll work it back to that right side where there's a little bit extra space. Another hit from the 49ers. This time it was Sean Roach, captain of this Charlotte Hockey Club, and an answer right back from the man he hit on the other end, and Whaley. No lack of physicality so far.
And we knew that was going to happen. Both of these teams were actually, a couple players were in group chats leading up to this as they know each other, talking trash. They both expected it to be chippy, more physical. Honestly, I expected it to be more physical up to this point. I thought we'd see some fisticuffs being thrown at this point by now, but the hits are still flying.
I think both teams so far doing a good job of being physical without crossing the line of what's within the rules and against the rules. Cross ice pass, open shot coming. It'll be stopped and chipped to the corner by Brannon. One of his toughest tests so far. App still with the pressure. Odd angle shot, rims around the wall, and it'll be chased down in the Mountaineer end by the defenseman Tyson Walters.
The Mountaineers are finally settling into this game, but Charlotte was just so opportunistic in that first minute and a half, and they're already playing behind despite controlling this play at this point.
A little collision there in the Charlotte end. The Niners wanted to call and didn't get it. Looking to lay the hit again was James McLeod and wasn't able to connect. Shot handled there by Weyer, thrown through the blue paint, and this one kept in at the blue line by the defenseman A.J. Jensen. Collected back behind the goal by Arnett for App State. We'll go rink wide for Jason Beck, who shoots it in. With some speed, Arnett gets to it first, tried to swing it in front. That's shut down, and a bouncing puck gets past Doldy and out to the App State end. 49ers and the Mountaineers both making some changes. Right in on goal, and this time we'll get a stoppage as Zucchini. Little snow shower for Brannon. The extracurriculars you were referring to are starting to flare up a bit here.
You hear that crowd, everyone getting on their feet immediately. I think both fan bases like that. The Mountaineer fan base like the snow shower from Zucchini as we see it here. And the Charlotte fans like their players protecting their goaltender. I mean, the fans are into this game right now. I'm into this game, Chris.
Well, this has certainly been an entertaining first 7.5 minutes, as of course you get 3 goals on 7 shots. The shot total is now 6 apiece, but at one point, 3 goals on 7 shots. The play has gone back and forth. We've seen a lot of transition play, a lot of rush chances, at least compared to the games we've seen earlier on in this outdoor face-off. And so it's been very entertaining, but right now, as we can see there, the ice crew back out in the App State zone trying to shore up a little bit of a problem spot. There have been a few that have cropped up today. This is about, from a weather standpoint, the worst day you could have asked for here in Charlotte. They got close to, I think they might have actually broken the record for the hottest temperature on this day in Charlotte. And so trying to keep an ice rink going and in working condition and getting it ready for a game like this when it's almost 80 degrees is difficult. Charlotte controls off the draw, but it's App State with pressure immediately. Odin Nelson after it along that near wall. Has some help at the blue line, and the Mountaineers hold the zone as the shot comes off the stick and out of play. But we've seen App State, to their credit, after a slow start, giving up 2 goals in the first 2+ minutes, they've kind of turned the tides. They've carried the play. They've had a lot more O-zone time, and of course, they've cut into that lead.
Yeah, and the Mountaineers do their best when they're grinding it out in the offensive zone. It's what we heard from Coach Mugno coming into this. They love to get the puck deep. They love to grind it out, play physical hockey in the corners, and really tire out these teams. And I think that's going to be the key for them as they're playing a young and inexperienced Charlotte team.
Puck shot in from the blue line by Doldy. Forecheck for App State, struggling to come up with the puck, and now it'll be collected by Charlotte's Jackson Owenby. Pestered in that near corner. Moves it out of that pressure. Reese Workman looking forward. His pass intercepted. But the second effort will dump it deep. Awkward carom off that Zamboni door. We've seen that for the last 2 weekends as a shot through traffic was sealed off low by Weyer. The Mountaineers can move back up and out. Dragging it through the neutral zone is Odin Nelson. Finds a man in the middle. But it's knocked off the stick of Richter there. 49ers can't clear. In the corner again. Nelson gets back to it down low, has it quickly taken away by Muchacho, and he'll move it up ice. Cuts to the middle, lays it off there for Beelan. In front, tight, stuffs at it, and it's sealed off along the side of the goal, and it will be whistled dead. Face-off coming in the App State zone, but it's really been mostly about getting to those dirty areas. All the goals really coming in tight outside of that first goal that came off of the breakaway.
Yeah, and Charlotte also, say the Mountaineers have the physical edge here. We see Charlotte able to get to the net there because of their speed. These young guys are very quick, and when they're able to play efficiently and able to move the puck on their sticks quickly and move it with a purpose, I mean, this team can match up with anybody in this league right now.
Oh yeah, and we just saw that replay for that last attempt for Charlotte, and App State maybe a little bit of good fortunes there. It almost deflected off the skate and in off the rebound. Charlotte in control in the offensive end. It'll be Nelson knocking his man off the puck, but again, App State unable to clear. First to it in that near corner is Aiden Hoey. He'll try and skate it out. Charlotte takes it away. And they'll go right back to work on offense. Gusera plays it down low. Seeing some weird bounces off the walls right now. And we've got a penalty coming up, it looks like, to App State. They'll touch up, and our first power play of the game is upcoming. It will go to the Charlotte 49ers. As we close it here on the halfway point, we've been talking about the ice conditions a bit. Let's throw it down to Kendall. Kendall, how's it looking down there? They've been working hard to get things ready. We'll check back in with Kendall here in just a minute, but she's down ice level for us here this evening again, and we're ready to go. The penalty goes against number 65, Seth Johnson. App State clears immediately to get the penalty kill started.
And this is something the Charlotte coaching staff said they were really liking, was their power play. The problem is regrouping with speed, but as you can see right now, they're not having many issues entering the offensive zone with speed on this power play.
Here's a chance in the slot for Charlotte. Poke check from Weyer knocks that chance away.
Another weird stanchion bounce in that end. We've seen about 4 of them now in the past 2 minutes.
This has been an excellent penalty kill so far from App State. Maybe a chance offensively for Lucas Tremont. His shot into the glove of Brandon, and the netminder will freeze it. 1:12 left on the power play. We're going to throw it down, see if we can't. We'll hold off on that until we get confirmation. We'll try and connect with Kendall Smith down at ice level here shortly. 9:49 to go in period number 1. Still 1:12 left on the man advantage for the Charlotte 49ers. Minor penalty to Seth Johnson, but they haven't spent too much time in the offensive zone.
Yeah, as that regroup has become an issue with the pressure of Lucas Tremont right now for the 49ers. That's something that they knew would be a cause for concern, trying to get that handled.
But again, they'll have to start things up from their own end. The 49ers down to 45 seconds left on the power play. Nice physical play in the neutral zone by Brady, but couldn't take the puck with him. In that corner is Owenby. Worked back up to the blue line. Shot coming off the side of the goal, and it ricochets back over to Owenby on the half wall. He'll look up to the blue line. It's Reese Workman. And now it's intercepted and cleared by App State. As we're down to the last 17 seconds. And a whistle as it's covered up in front by Brainen.
See Robbie Richter and Zach Larson give each other a couple shoves there after the whistle. Some more extracurricular activities for these college students to get involved into after these whistles.
So an offensive zone face-off, the second one of this penalty kill for App State. We really haven't seen Charlotte get much flowing on the offensive end here on this man advantage. Muchacho works it into the zone, drops it off for Owenby. They'll play catch down into the corner. Muchacho again. Looking back out top as the power play comes to an end. Ricocheted over to Muchacho on that near circle. His shot doesn't get through. App State clears the zone, but not very far. Larson fires it right back in. Both teams getting some fresh legs on the ice. The right wing, it'll be tracked down by App State's Jason Beck. He takes a heavy hit and loses control. Niners looking to break out. Nifty little move by Aiden Sutter as he walks around one defenseman. Shot through traffic in transition. It'll be swallowed up by Ware with 8:05 left in the period.
A good little move there by Sutter in the neutral zone to find space. Sutter, a very strong skater laterally, showcasing that, finding that space from side to side over there and getting a shot onto net. As they prepare for the face-off, Mountaineers win that back.
Slap shot from the near or far blue line rather, ends up off the side of the goal. 49ers back in control. Played up top for Kucera. His shot hits traffic on the way in. Puck left at the blue line, stepping into a shot, and it doesn't get through for Jensen. The hitting continues as it's elevated out of the zone by the Mountaineers. At the red line, it's loose for Zach Morrow to collect. He's got speed down the right wing, looking in front. Bounces up in front, and they score! Wow. I'm not sure if it hit a Mountaineer in front or how it ended up in, but the bounces have been going Charlotte's way here early.
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth. Another bounce, literally bouncing into the net, as we couldn't really get a good look at what happened there, as we'll see it on the replay. Puck kind of going above Ware on a pass that went wrong. After a poke check, it ramps off Maresco's stick.
And it was knocked in out of the air. On the rebound, I believe it's Ian Brown with a highlight reel goal for the 49ers.
And that's a phenomenal finish by Brown. 49ers finding space in front of that, using their speed to create that space, and Brown once again found that space and finished for the 49ers.
Let's see if App State can respond back down 2 again. Chased down in the defensive end by Aiden Hoey. He'll throw it off the near wall and up the ice. Worked around the wall, bouncing puck. Nice job knocking it down by Vargas.
Now Charlotte able to sustain some pressure of their own as there's a big hit delivered there behind the wall by the captain, Sean Roach.
Picked up at the App State blue line by Robbie Richter. He'll carry it down into the right wing, hands it off there, top of the circle. Brady's shot handled by the goaltender in Braynon. As at the stoppage, 6:28 left on the clock. And I think we've got Kendall back down low. We'll throw it down to Kendall. How's it going down there? We got a lot going on, Kendall.
Yeah, guys, I actually skated on the ice earlier tonight, and it was still a little soft, definitely slick, and that tracks because just a couple hours ago, the sheet was in rough shape, paint bleeding through, spots that were basically puddles. So a series of dry cuts certainly helped pull a lot of that water off, and you can see the effects of this ice already on the game, but had the chance to go out there with my own skates on, feel it out, and it improved so much from where it was a couple of hours ago, guys.
Yeah, it was impressive. I got here right around 5 o'clock to watch it go from just about a shallow pool to what it is now is impressive. Chance in tight, and they score! Tremont on the finish, and it's 3-2 in favor of Charlotte.
The Mountaineers once again waiting for Charlotte to take a 2-goal lead before their response. I mean, while App State has been able to respond, they're going to need to find an answer once again here if they want to be back in this game in the next 6-11, because all the bounces have been coming Charlotte's way. They've been maintaining possession right now, but Tremont able to get a slick finish in front of the net, right in front of the goaltender, just slides it down low. Just a good, strong goal for Lucas Tremont on that first line.
Assisted by Beck. And we have had a heck of a first period so far. 14 minutes in, we've already got 5 goals on 23 shots. Charlotte back to work in the offensive end. Wrist shot doesn't get through the traffic in front as it's held up in the near circle. Pitched out of the zone by Jason Beck. And we swatted back from blue line to blue line where Charlotte can take over. Kyle Beelan as his pass deflected back out of the zone. We lifted back where Tremont can find it at his own blue line. But again, that bouncing puck, neither team, unless they've got some time to really settle it down, neither team has been able to control things very well. Niners break into the zone. Drew Bauman, one of the top point scorers on this team so far this season. Throws one at the net from the high slot and catches the glass behind. App State clears. This one not going to have enough for icing. Charlotte gonna have to play the breakout up the far wall. Good pinch, at least initially, by Bongren. Couldn't hold the zone ultimately, and Charlotte will throw it in off the pads of Weyer. In the corner far side, it'll be worked up the wall. Bongren clears the zone. Bouncing puck, pawed down by Nick Whaley. He has some trouble though getting by AJ Jensen. Line change, and the puck gets caught up in skates along the benches. Shot from the high slot, breaking into the zone for Charlotte, and it's easily handled by Weyer. We'll get a stoppage with 4:38 to go.
And when that puck went over to the boards, I think some Mountaineer fans were holding their breath. That was almost a too many men penalty, as that was getting caught up in the skates of changing Mountaineers, but they had a good job of having the awareness to wait until everybody was off the ice before making that change. Kind of getting away with one there.
Now App State will control and advance right off the defensive zone draw. Richter powers his way through the neutral zone. He lays a big hit in that near corner, but will be Charlotte in control up the left side. Breakout pass for Zadarko broken up. It'll be collected now by Workman. He'll advance it up the right wing. Now at the blue line, App State will try to work back up ice again. McGlade's headman pass is intercepted. And it'll be Larson shooting it around the wall for Charlotte. They've got a chance now along the goal line. Shot off the side of the net. Still loose where it can be settled down. Stuff chance along the side of the goal. They score. Zach Morrow on that near side post is able to beat the goaltender and Lucas Weyer, and it's 4-2.
And Charlotte is just so quick once they set up in the offensive zone that, by comparison, the Mountaineers just looked flat-footed in the defensive zone. They looked a step slow because Charlotte is so able to stop and go with these quick movements around the front of the net. Once again, able to get possession and just create traffic and create havoc in front of the net and able to tuck it in on the wraparound.
So we have 4 minutes left in this first period. We've had 6 goals already. There was a total of 6 goals between these two teams last year in the outdoor game. Plenty of offense so far, and now App State looking for an answer. Centering pass from Tremont picked off, and the Niners will take it back up the ice. Muchacho on the left wing. He'll skate across the blue and have it taken away along the half wall. Seth Johnson with the backhand pass returned to him on that far side. Now he's under some pressure. Passes his way out of it. Tremont along the right wing. Chips it deep and then lays a man out. That was Jeremy Brodeur, who was expecting to make the hit himself. At the blue line now, App State holds the line. A shot back around behind the goal. Charlotte to it first. It was Brodeur unable to clear. But the Mountaineers need fresh legs. It'll be a one-man forecheck for Zucchini. And he's pretty effective. He's got reinforcements coming in now. Brodeur working up the left wing. And it'll be advanced out by Aiden Sutter. He'll throw it off the stick of Weyer. Gets to his own rebound and slips past a check behind the goal line. Pass out in front, gets caught up in the skates of Tremont. And now Appalachian State can elevate it into neutral ice.
Now Charlotte sustaining a little bit of pressure of their own. Mountaineers finally able to enter their offensive zone for the first time in a minute.
Left at the blue line over in front of the benches. Hacked at by Aiken Carter to knock it deep. He'll press in along that half wall. Lifted back out by the 49ers. At the red line, it'll be swept in now by Kyle Beeland. The 49ers turn to change at the blue line. Breakout pass intercepted by Kucera. He decides to play it down the wall. App State sweeps it right back up. Kucera's shot now gets picked off on the way in, and it'll be skated back out by the Mountaineers. Nice move there from Wichter. He'll walk in, and the shot ends up out of play. And we'll get a face-off with 1:48 to go in the period. And it has been a heck of a first period already. That one could have been goal number 7.
Yeah, with how this is going, it wouldn't shock me if that one was on net. That was slipping by the goaltender, especially now with App State down 2 goals. Seems to be the only time they are able to score right now. If they want to get back into this game, they're going to have to build some momentum beyond just 1 goal here and there.
Off the face-off, backhand try, ends up wide. They'll stuff at it on that far post. And Charlotte comes away with it and skates out of danger. Sean Roach looking rink wide. His pass a little bit too long for his intended target. It's intercepted by Beatson. App State moves it back into neutral ice before it's shot deep once more. Cam Maresco behind his own goal. Throws it off the boards. It'll be held in at the blue line by Larson. His shot ends up around the wall where it can be chipped out by Brady of App State. And again, Charlotte just kind of putting things on repeat here. Just shoot it deep, go after it, and go right back to work. This one cleared out. It'll be deflected down the ice by Ryan Bongren. But icing waved off, so App State a chance to establish the forecheck. Bongren down low, helping out his teammate Brady. Cross ice pass misses everybody, and they'll fight for it just inside of the Charlotte zone before the 49ers clear it out. Back across to the near side, Bongren. Will be pitchforked in now by Brady. And again, a change for App State, down to the last 37 seconds of the period.
And the Mountaineers trying to get a little cute with these stretch passes, these tap passes, these drop passes, where Charlotte, they're just making quick, efficient passes and getting the puck in the zone. And I think that's all the difference at this moment.
We talked about simplifying the game tonight, and Charlotte certainly has done that. App, though, trying to answer again. It'll be sealed off on that near post, and Brainin covers up. 15 seconds left in this first period. But we've seen 32 shots and 6 goals already.
Good night to be an offensive coach. Not a great night to be a goaltending coach at the moment. I'm sure they're a little unhappy with the performance right now, but with the ice, you never know.
Oh, yeah. 4-man scrum below the Charlotte goal line. This looks to bleed out the remaining seconds on the clock as it runs out on period number 1. An eventful first period here between App State and Charlotte. It started early as the 49ers picked up 2 goals in the first 2 minutes and 21 seconds. The first one off the stick of Ian Brown. The second one from Jackson, Owenby, but credit, Adam, to the the Mountaineers, as they've found themselves behind the 8 ball this period, but they've been able to fight back. They haven't drawn even, but they haven't played themselves out of the game.
No, and they've managed to stay in this game, but obviously the credit goes to Charlotte. They made the most of their opportunities. They knew they needed to simplify this game, but they also knew that App State wouldn't give them a lot in this game. And granted, every loose puck they found in their offensive zone, it feels like they've been able to convert. They've been maximizing these chances. They've been playing simple hockey, and I think that has been propelling them to this lead right now.
Oh yeah, and the thing I think you hit on that is really the big difference maker right now for these two teams is the simplification of the game. As you talked about, Charlotte, chip and chase, go get it, make App State work to get out of their own end. App State's been a little bit more cute, as you said, going into the zone on their zone entries, and as a result, they haven't seen quite as many grade A chances, and Charlotte ends up with the lead after period number 1. We're going to go down to ice level with Kendall Smith. Kendall has the 49ers head coach down there. Kendall?
Well, James, what a start for this game for your team. 4 goals, 2 from Ian Brown. Just what's allowed him to be so effective offensively?
So I think it's a matter of him having that drive, getting pucks to the net, constantly driving the net after those first opportunities. All his opportunities come on that second chance.
Talked about how you want your group to simplify this game. That obviously becomes a little bit harder on this outdoor ice. What is the plan going forward to continue with that simplification process?
I think it's just make their D move. We got to put pucks deep and go after them. It's going to be a game of foot speed and a game of who's going to win those 50-50 puck battles.
Still 40 minutes left in this one. It's been physical so far. How do you manage the physicality with trying to stay composed here?
I think that our guys have the mental toughness in them to stay composed throughout. I think it's just controlling the emotions on the bench, making sure there's not too many highs, too many lows, and just let them keep playing the game.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kendall. We're going to take a quick break here as we get started at the first intermission. It was an eventful first period. 6 goals, 4 of them to the Charlotte 49ers. It's a 4-2 lead for Charlotte over at after 20. After 20 minutes, we're on pace for the highest scoring game of the 7:04 outdoor faceoff as the Charlotte 49ers lead the App State Mountaineers 4-2. Chris Lehman alongside Adam Pasico after 20 minutes. And Adam, it was really about a quick start for Charlotte. They got that 2-goal lead early on in the first 2.5 minutes and then really didn't look back after that.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to playing simplified, as we said, but also playing with efficiency. Whenever Charlotte enters the zone, they have a goal, they have a plan, they're quickly getting to those high danger areas with a purpose and making snap passes, moving quickly, cutting into the zone, where App State taking their time to set up the offense. They're not being as efficient, and by the time they have possession for 30 seconds, they're leaving the zone with one shot, and Charlotte's leaving with 2 shots.
And one thing you have to say about App State, even though they haven't been able to get to their game yet, they are hanging around. It could be very easy in an environment like this where Charlotte, I think, probably has a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the crowd. You do have plenty of App State fans here as well, but when you get the crowd behind you early, like Charlotte did, it's easy for App to kind of sit back and let it come to them. But they've been able to take it to Charlotte at times as well, and it's why they're still in this game.
Yeah, and I think the way they've been able to take it to them has been their physicality. We knew App State was an older team. We knew they were a slightly bigger team, a more physical team, and they've shown that physical presence and that expertise on how to play clean physical hockey up to this point. They've delivered a lot of reverse hits, a lot of hits on the boards and open ice. They've done their job when it comes to the physicality. The problem is right now, once you enter the offensive zone, can you show that physicality in the corners, and can you win those puck battles and create offensive efficiency in the high danger areas?
Without question, and we've talked about it all weekend. We expected this game to be an eventful and an entertaining one, and it was a very eventful first period. 6 goals, as you talked about, Adam, plenty of hits as well. We've got some highlights to take a look at when we come back here at the first intermission.
We are the Mountaineers.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. The Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
When you look at me, you might see
A person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
A warrior mom.
an endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
Is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is opportunity, energy, innovation, community, and results. This isn't a typical university. It's Charlotte. Of the 3 top 75 public research universities in North Carolina, only one powers its fastest growing city. The difference is Charlotte.
We're back at Truist Field here in Uptown Charlotte. Chris Lehman alongside Adam Persico as we take a look at the first period highlights. We got a lot of goals to look at, Adam, and it started early for the Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, they were playing with efficiency. They were playing with purpose. I mean, you saw that, the takeaway with the dead spot in the zone, being able to capitalize, being able to tuck it in there. It's just a matter of time before Charlotte scores when you lose that puck in the defensive zone.
Oh, yeah, and we talked a lot about ice conditions, and as a result, we saw a lot of dirty area, grimy goals like this one here, the second one for the 49ers, and the first for Brown.
Yeah, and I think that's also an example of a lapse in a strength for App State. As we know they're physical, being able to clear that front of the net is paramount to stopping these goals, at least for App State it is.
And we see App State doing the same thing that Charlotte did. You get to the front of the net and you get your chances that way. This last goal, though, from the 49ers that we're taking a look at here, the second from Brown, a highlight reel goal as he found the rebound out of the air. A baseball bat swing, so to speak, in a baseball stadium.
An incredibly impressive, difficult goal to score. I cannot stress how hard it is to knock that fluttering puck out of the air like that, but it's, it's the old saying, you go near the blue paint, you crash the net, good things will happen. Every coach you will ever play on will tell you that.
Oh yeah, we get a look there at the second App State goal. Again, got to give credit to the Mountaineers, the way they've been able to keep themselves in this game despite not playing the way they want to. But again, Charlotte has been able to find the net and find those dirty areas as we see on that last goal.
And that wraparound goal was just sweet lateral movement. I mean, that speed we've talked about from Charlotte. It's not just speed in a straight line, but speed side to side, and you saw it there on that last goal.
Absolutely, a very entertaining first period. We're going to step aside when I come back. Nick Norwood will join me to preview period number 2.
I am joined by Brant Bronico of Charlotte FC. Now, this is an honor for me. I've been a huge supporter of Charlotte FC since you guys have come into the city. Now, you're a graduate of UNC Charlotte. What's your experience, following this hockey team and the other club sports around the school?
Yeah, man. I mean, I came to this event last year. The club hockey team's great, super accommodating, all great dudes. But obviously, I want all of our Charlotte sports to win, and the hockey team does a really good job of that.
Yeah, and you've been here, with not just UNC Charlotte, but with Charlotte FC since their inaugural season. What is it like seeing the energy surrounding Charlotte sports just shift from year to year?
Hey, appreciate y'all.
So we got some fans right now shouting out in favor of you. I mean, what does that mean to you, getting that kind of support around the city?
Oh, man, no, it's amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for anything more. Like, this is truly a dream come true. From the start to where we are now, getting better every single year. That's what we wanted to do and continue to win. Obviously, our main goal is to bring a major trophy to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right.
And I'm super passionate about that. I'm super passionate about the city. But being a graduate of UNC Charlotte just makes it all that more worthwhile.
Yeah, and I know myself, all my friends over here, everyone here in Charlotte, we're going to be supporting you every step of the way. But you guys saw some improvement this year. I mean, what was that like to find more success this year?
Yeah, I think every single season, we step in there and we're just like, okay, where were we at last year? Let's get better. Obviously, our main goal is to win the MLS Cup. We want to bring a major trophy to Charlotte. But it's always about progress. It's always about getting better, finishing higher, so we can give the fans what they deserve. A high finish and a playoff run. So that's our next step, is going a little bit further in the playoffs and obviously wanting to win an MLS Cup and a trophy. But we always want to get better, and that's our main goal.
Yeah, and I mean, you're taking that next step. You guys are improving each year. How much do the fans showing out to that Bank of America Stadium, seeing the pregame, how exciting it gets, how loud it gets, how much does that play into your guys' success?
Oh, it's everything. Like, I always get chills every single time the Poznan comes on. Watching those fans like turn around, they're jumping up and down. Man, I could run through a brick wall, honestly, once I see that. But yeah, the fans are amazing. We want to give them everything. We were disappointed that we lost in the first round this year, but I know we'll be better next year.
All right, thank you so much, Brant. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Both teams getting back out onto the ice as you get a look up close at the Charlotte 49ers returning to Truist Field here in Uptown Charlotte. They've got a 4-2 advantage over Appalachian State right now. Chris Lehman now joined by Nick Norrid. Had a little bit of a change of plans there at the end of the intermission, but it's another example of the support that these schools and their alumni give to these hockey programs, with Brant Bronico joining us in that intermission. That was really cool.
Yeah, Chris, that was awesome. I mean, to be able to have people like that supporting club hockey is really something you love to see. And to have that happen, get that opportunity, obviously we love it up here, and I'm sure the fans love to see it.
Oh yeah, they made it known during that interview.
Yep.
Right here next to us. There were plenty of Charlotte FC fans showing their support for Brant Bronico, and both teams now huddled up at their benches as we turn our focus back to the game. What's the message here for App State? We've talked a lot about it. They haven't been able to get to their game. How do they do that?
I mean, I think it's really just working on the boards. They haven't been winning any battles in the offensive zone. And Charlotte just really came out with fire under their belly. If they come out this period looking for momentum quick with fire under their belly, I think they can really make something happen. And they just really need to be looking for those grade A chances in front of the net, because they really have. The times they've gotten to the slot, they've scored. But other than that, they've sort of not had quality chances. Yeah.
In those black uniforms, moving left to right across your screen this period is App State. In the gold, Charlotte will move right to left. The Mountaineers retreat to their own end right off the opening draw. Niners will look to establish the forecheck as it's shoveled up the wall by Aiden Hoey. And the Niners send it right back deep. You can feel the temperature starting to drop. Heavy collision right next to the App State net. Both players up and going after the puck in this far corner now.
I mean, what a hit right there by the goal line to come out 30 seconds in and already make a big play like that. Charlotte is coming out swinging.
There's another hit right at the blue line, but unfortunately that left Chase Arnett offsides, and the faceoff will come back on top of the Charlotte blue line. They just show the replay of that hit along the side of the goal by Sean Roach, and I think we're going to continue to see a lot of that. One thing, though, that I think you have to commend both teams on is they've been physical. Only one penalty so far. They've been able to stay within the rules.
The Mountaineers staying out of the box is definitely something that's good. They've had issues prior to this with those penalties, but to only have one here, that's pretty ideal.
The Mountaineers in control. Jack Beatson goes D to D with his partner there in Moresco. They'll chip it up that right wing. Charlotte able to find the loose puck. Machaccio absorbs ahead as he plays it forward. That'll be touched along by Weyer, so no icing. And the 49ers get to the loose puck first. It's Zach Morrow. His pass up that near wall is picked off. It'll be played along now for Moresco again. And App State advances through neutral ice. McGlade being pestered from behind. And it'll be turned over for Charlotte to move back out. Not very far, though, as Reese Workman had it knocked loose. A follow-up from Ian Brown will get the puck deep, and Charlotte can get a change. We'll keep an eye on Brown. He had 2 first-period goals, but now it's a chance for App State the other way. Walking in, shot off the side of the goal by Riley Brady. He was defended well by the 49ers defenseman. I believe that was Kucera. Shot in on Weyer. Rebound left there as he had trouble handling that shot, but App State able to clear it out of their own end.
Charlotte did a really good job there, keeping Brady to the outside, forcing a not so high quality shot that went off the side of the net.
Good trans from the slot on the one-timer. Charlotte unable to finish, and another chance in transition. Bondgren throws it on goal. It'll be knocked down by Brainin. They'll keep it in play for the 49ers to move back out. Headman pass ends up through the skates of Jackson Owenby. And now a delayed offside will force Charlotte to check up. And it'll slow play down a bit here. 2.5 minutes into this second period. And that's something, even with the goals and the stoppages, I feel like there's still been a good flow to this game. And it's continuing here in the second.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of offense here, even though there hasn't been goals like there was last period. But the amount of chances already is surprising to see.
Puck picked up by Charlotte along their own blue line. A little bit of trouble for Jeremy Brodeur. Still able to advance. Shot into the glove of Weyer in transition by Owenby, and we'll get a stoppage with 16:49 to go. But this period has been a much calmer start. At 16:49 of the first period, we already had 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a slower period, but you can tell Charlotte is coming out skating fast. They're using the momentum from the first period very well, getting big hits and some quality chances already to start.
Offensive zone draw won by the Niners. Shot off the back wall to be collected along the far post and swept back around by Dylan Dix. Up to the blue line, slap shot. Hits the skate of the defenseman in front, Seth Johnson. He'll clear the zone. That'll give App State a chance to alleviate at least a little bit of pressure before the Niners dump it back in. Another clearance from Tremont, and this one will be icing on the Mountaineers.
Yeah, this first line for the Mountaineers has truly been the heart of the team thus far. 2 goals from Lucas Tremont, which were assisted by both Beck and Arnett. But they've sort of been the only livelihood from the Mountaineers this game. And I really need to see the depth of this team shine in the light here this game, but we'll have to see.
I think we'll see that start to come into effect as we get later into this period and into the third. But right now, it's the 49ers controlling play this period. Another big hit along that far corner. But a turnover at the blue line, and the Mountaineers back the other way. Slap shot. Hit a man on the way in. It was a good chance for Jason Beck, and now we've got some extracurriculars behind the goal as Brainin was collided with. And Charlotte did not like that. Nick, we talked about the lack of penalties in the first period. I think we'll see, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see one aside out of that scrum.
I mean, yeah, Arnett battling in front with
believe that was number 41, Zach Larson for Charlotte.
Yeah, Larson and Arnett battling up front there. Just lots of extracurriculars after the whistle. Like we said coming into this game, it was going to be chippy, and that was very prevalent right there.
I'm just a little bit surprised that we didn't see matching minors there, but the two teams will continue 5 aside. The aforementioned Larson lifts it up but not out. Actually, it did bounce past the defenseman and beats in there, and App State regroups in their own end.
So by the lack of a call there, you can tell that the refs are sort of laying it easy on the whistle, letting these two teams play out, knowing that they're rivalries and that it is going to be chippy.
I think they did a pretty good job as well of reading the game and the way it's gone so far. Chance from the high slot, kicked away with emphasis from the goaltender, Brainen. App State with the pressure at the blue line, unable to hold the zone, but it'll be turned right back in by Robbie Richter. He'll throw one. Ooh, that one almost caught the mask of the goaltender, Brainen. As App State will turn it back at the red line again. Richter unable to poke it through. Now the Niners down that left wing. Below the goal line, swept in front, touched to the goal. Easy save on Bauman for Weyer. Richter hacks it out of the zone up the far wall. Coming in on the follow-up, Maresco. And Richter can lift it in. This is the period of the long change, so anytime you get a chance to get fresh legs out there, these teams are likely to take that opportunity. Still looking for the first goal of the period. A little over 5 minutes gone in the second. Shots are 20-19 in favor of Charlotte.
The Mountaineers been looking pretty good in the offensive zone.
Backhand try, bouncing around in front. They'll jam away at it, and Brainen covers up. But some chaos in front of the 49er net. And again, we talked about it with Adam in that first period. The bounces just feel like they've been going Charlotte's way more than they have App State's. And this is another example. That puck could go just about anywhere with Nick Whaley jamming away at it, but just couldn't find the net.
Absolutely. That bounce, I mean, I saw it firsthand over at ice level. The puck bounced right off one of the panes in between the glass and over towards the Charlotte direction.
Yeah, there are a few spots on the ice that we've seen over the course of the last 2 weekends where if the puck catches it right, it'll deflect away in an unexpected manner. And the biggest area we've seen it once, I think, tonight is that Zamboni door down in that near right corner for those watching on TV. But an icing call will bring the face-off back into the App State end. 14:07 on the clock.
The Mountaineers have been looking a little better offensively, but it's been Charlotte here tonight. I mean, they've been dominating already right out of the period. And it's like Charlotte's on the regroup right now.
At the blue line, it's picked up by Zadarko. He'll carry it down the left wing, throws it off a body and down behind the goal. Niners back to it on the forecheck. It pops loose where App can take over. Bongren looking up the wall. Doesn't have any options there, and he'll go behind the net now. Worked along for Tyson Walters. He shoots at the length of the ice, and this will be icing on Charlotte. And it'll come back down to the App State end. I was talking about the period of the long change. There are some guys in black jerseys right now, Nick, that have been out there for a while.
Yeah, they're leaning on their knee pads right now. You can tell that they're truly
Looks
facing.
like it will be number 12, Chase Arnett, on the draw for App State. Charlotte has Aiden Sutter, who wins it to the wall, worked back around the glass and up to the blue line. It'll be held in by Owenby near the top of the circles. Work back down low, Muchacho couldn't control. Shot around now by Walters, but not out. One-timer from the point, pad save made there by Weyer, and App State able to find the rebound and clear the zone. But again, they are only able to get one fresh set of legs on the ice with that clearance, and they've got a lot of tired bodies still out there. Now it looks like Charlotte comes in offside, so App catches a break there, Nick. They really needed that stoppage.
They did indeed. They've done a better job keeping Charlotte away from those high danger areas overall, but they've just struggled on the breakout here. I mean, every time they get it over the blue line, it seems Charlotte gets possession right back and starts their own rush again.
And that's the tough thing about these conditions. You can't really play tape to tape consistently with the weather the way it has been. And so you got to play a lot of chip and chase game, and it gets tough to possess the puck in those situations. Here's a 3-on-2 developing for the 49ers. Bauman lays it off. Shot sent wide of the goal. And now App State will take over after Sean Roach missed the net. It'll be a breakaway, though, for Tremont. In on goal, and he fires it high and wide from the top of the slot. Another chance in front he can't get a stick to, but it was a great defensive play on the back check. I believe that was number 11, Workman, who got back. Another chance in tight, and it'll be covered up by Brainerd as Workman comes over to defend his goaltender, and we get a little bit more pushing and shoving from these two teams.
We knew it was going to be a hard-fought game, but looks like Roach is getting yelled at by the ref right now. He's yelling back at the bench of App State.
Yeah, the two benches are having words with each other, and they're not a whole lot closer, but a little bit closer to each other on this outdoor rink. They can have face-to-face conversations over there if so desired, but it will add fuel to the fire, I would imagine, as this game goes on. Face-off eventually controlled by Charlotte below their own goal line. Along the half wall, pressure applied by Odin Nelson. Had trouble getting it out of his skates, and now Charlotte able to move up and out. Zadarko with speed down the left wing, throws it off the glass. It'll work its way back up the half wall, and it can be chopped out by Nelson.
The player of the game for App State. Oh.
Nelson shot blocker save made by Braden. And Charlotte can clear the zone once more. Don't have the numbers moving forward. App State able to take it away. Beats in up the left side. Steps outside of a hit, then gets knocked down on the second attempt. But App State will be able to apply some pressure here. They've got a delayed offside, though, so they need to check up. Approaching the halfway point of this contest. Very different second period than the first. A 4-2 lead still for Charlotte. All 6 goals coming in period number 1 now.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that the nerves have sort of worn down for the Mountaineers. They're finally starting to get settled into their game as we're seeing them possess the puck in the offensive zone a little more. Haven't been seeing the chances they've overall wanted, but Lucas Tremont has sure stepped up for them, and he still has been in the second period.
Face off to the glove side of Brainen. It'll be kicked into the corner by the centerman for Charlotte, Zach Morrow. Niners unable to clear the zone. It's caught up in the linesman's skates. That'll be another break for the 49ers, and they can move forward off of it. Walking into the zone now, Brown. His shot whistles wide, looking for that hat trick. And he wasn't too far off. Puck cleared all the way down. Brainen gonna play it, so no icing. And App State able to get to it first. Brady in the corner. He'll leave it there for Richter. Back to Brady. His shot hit a skate. Good pressure, though, from Richter to hold the zone. Knocks his man off the puck. That was Jensen out in front. They'll jam at it in the crease, and again, it's covered up by Brainen, and again, we'll have a meeting of the minds in the Charlotte goal crease.
Seeing a lot of extracurriculars in this period so far, sort of what we were looking for early on in the chippy rivalry type match. But something I wanted to note is the App State goaltender is on the side that Coach Mugno noted that in prior years they've actually struggled to see due to the big spotlights on the other side of the stadium.
So as we talk about the physicality, someone who's seen it up close and personal is down at ice level, Kendall Smith. What's it look like down there, Kendall?
Yeah, guys, this has been such a fun game to watch. As you mentioned, the physicality is just off the charts in this one, and both head coaches talked about it, just how much this means to these players. So many of them grew up playing together here actually in the Charlotte area, just down the road at Extreme Ice Center. So they're wearing their hearts on their sleeves, and this one just got to be careful that it's not too much. You don't want to rack up the penalty minutes, guys.
Shot is held on to there by Brainen. Thank you, Kendall. And that's one thing that I think both teams have done a good job of so far. The officials have kind of let them play a little bit, but neither team, while they've been physical and they've gotten into it after the whistle, neither team has drawn any penalties off of those. 10-11 left in this second period. Quick shot attempt off the draw for Arnett, and he whiffs on it, but the Nears still in control. Over to the near wall. Nelson settles it down. His pass, though, picked off. Charlotte looks like they're going to need to get a change, so they'll chip it into the App State end. And it must have deflected off of something as the Mountaineers send it back the other way. Icing was waved off. So now Charlotte will skate up the right wing and out. Loose puck will be collected in the neutral zone by Seth Johnson. And the Mountaineers work it back up. Heavy hit there along the wall by Kucera. Absorbing the hit was Jason Beck. He'll get back to it and find Arnett, who returns it behind the goal. Along the side of the net. They'll poke away, and again, Brannon's done a good job. He hasn't had to really deal with much up high, but he's done a really good job with the puck in tight of getting down low and not allowing App State the space to beat him on the ice.
Yeah, it looks like App State came out this period and they were looking for the aggressive net front goals. They haven't found many grade A chances, but when the puck has gone on net, App were the first people to get in there and try prying it out.
Well, another thing that speaks to the difference between these first two periods is App State controls and pins it to the wall off the draw. Shot from the top of the circle, swallowed up by Brannon as Bondgren got loose off the board battle. But you look back at the first period, shots were 17-50, 32 total shots between the two teams, and of course 6 goals in that 20-minute span as well. The shots are 23-20 now in favor of App State. Bondgren with another shot swallowed up by Brannon. But you look at that, App State has 8 shots this period, just 3 for Charlotte. So the shot total's much lower, and of course, we haven't seen the puck in the net yet here in the second.
Yep, you could tell App State came out a little bit squirmish. They didn't feel as comfortable in their skates as they are in this period. And you could tell they're sort of feeling a lot more fundamentally sound than they were in the first.
And we're seeing a little bit more time in the App State offensive zone here this period. Play hasn't been dictated quite as much by what Charlotte has been doing. Oh, a big hit along the wall by Nick Whaley. He leveled A.J. Jensen. But Charlotte's still able to break out of the zone. Stopped up at the blue line by Cam Maresco, and App State advances up ice. Whaley throws one towards the net. It'll be steered away by Brannon as we're down under 9 minutes in period number 2. The clearance will be tracked down by Beatson of App State. Has some trouble with a puck that won't cooperate, and he's under some pressure from Aiden Sutter as well. Eventually outlets for Richter. He'll carry it down the left wing. Steps past his defenseman there in Jensen, but lost the puck in the process. App State will reset at center ice. Beatson steps around a couple of 49ers and then sends it into the Charlotte end. Brodeur will control and clear. This should be icing on Charlotte. And a chance here for App State to apply the pressure with an offensive zone draw.
We got a quick look at the skating skills of Jack Beatson there. A quick little insight is that he's actually a gold medalist at extreme skating. Yeah. He is very fast, and I can see why App State put him as a first-line defenseman, because he can fly all over the ice.
Yeah, you can see the way he uses his edges. That was nice work through the neutral zone. As App State trying to attack right off the face-off. It'll be thrown out of the zone, though, and the Mountaineers will have to check up before going in on the forecheck. Lifted out by Charlotte. It'll be knocked down and controlled by Riley Brady. Walking down the right wing at the goal line, slid out in front, but it's all gold jerseys there, and the Niners cleared.
App State have sort of been overpowering the 49ers in terms of offensive possession here, but they just haven't found the chances that they need. They sort of need to find that momentum-changing play here, but as of right now, they are dominating in terms of offense, and it's good to see, being down 2.
They'll get another chance in the offensive zone. I feel like the last 4 or 5 faceoffs have been down in the Charlotte end. 7.5 minutes, a little bit more than that left in the second. And they're going to toss Arnett from the circle here. He'll be replaced by Jason Beck. Charlotte wins the draw. Arnett in on the forecheck, though. He'll knock it loose and be called for a penalty as he got tied up behind the goal with the 49ers, Garrett Kucera. And the second power play of the game for Charlotte upcoming.
Arnett is not a fan of that. He's arguing with the ref right now, but he's not going to change the call. Arnett is very unhappy in the penalty box, but Mountaineers are going to try to fight off on the penalty kill here, and the 49ers are going to see if they can get something going on the penalty box.
Yeah, and you can understand the frustration on the Appalachian State side. It's been a physical game, and then a penalty that's not quite as physical is what gets called, so it doesn't feel as though you should get that call, but Charlotte will have a chance here with a 2-minute power play. It is a high-sticking penalty officially. Charlotte set up on the power play, up at the blue line. Behrman, talked about in pregame, plays a lot of minutes for the Niners. Bauman throws one off a body, loose for App State to collect, and they'll clear it out of the zone as we've ticked 30 seconds off the penalty clock for Arnett. Now Zach Morrow skating through the neutral zone and down the left wing. He'll leave it at the hashes. Charlotte again can set up that power play. Across for Sean Roach. Coach McCarthy mentioned this power play has been coming together over the last couple of weeks as they've found some rhythm, but here they'll clear it out of the zone for App State, and the Mountaineers can get a couple of fresh legs out there on the penalty kill. Halfway through the man advantage, Bauman turned back at the hash marks on that far side, and App State clears again.
One of the things that the 49ers came in not ready for was how aggressive App State is on the penalty kill. Looks like they have one guy down deep and one guy about at the hashes every time that the 49ers are behind their own goal line for that regroup.
Puck thrown deep, it'll be taken off the wall by Aiden Sutter. Played back up the wall and then touched along. Muchachi has some trouble with it. They're able to hold the zone though, at least momentarily, and again, App State clears. Well, Charlotte's had a decent amount of zone time on the power play. They haven't been able to create anything out of it yet though. 15 seconds left. One last push on the power play. Puck stopped up at the App blue line. Owenby getting knocked off the puck. App State doing a good job of pinning it to the wall. Nelson goes down. He's on top of the puck. Charlotte trying to knock it loose. Some help in there as well from Tyson Walters. Niners have it. Power play is over. Pass to the slot. Defects back to the blue line. Another shot blocked by the App State defense. This time it was Riley Brady. A continued pressure here from the 49ers. Finally, App State clears. This one, though, a delayed icing call, and it will be whistled. And this is going to be a big face-off for App State. They've got to find a way to get out of the zone and get some of these guys who've been on the ice for really the entire penalty kill off for a change.
I mean, that was a very good penalty kill from App State there. They kept everyone to the outside. They didn't let many shots on net. And the 49ers, that was a very good time to try and capitalize. But right now, they have a chance.
Face off to the blocker side of Weyer. Charlotte wins it. One-timer from the blue line. Hits a skate. It'll be controlled by Aiden Doldy. And he pushes it forward, intended for Arnett. It slips past him. And Kucera will collect for Charlotte. Pass out intended for Bauman is too long. Doldy with it for the Mountaineers. Forward for Whaley. His pass picked off at the defense, and Charlotte can try to work back up ice. It'll be chopped up in front of the benches. Now Walters able to settle at the blue line. Bongren worked all the way around the wall and back deep. 4:20 left in the period. Still 4-2 Charlotte. We saw 6 goals in the first. We haven't seen any here in the second. Maresco now. Played across for Walters. He's got space forward for McCabe. He dumped in where the Mountaineers will have to apply the forecheck. Shot from that near wall. Ends up wide of the goal. And it ricochets out of the zone. Here's Brown. Already 2 goals tonight. Into that far corner. He'll stop there. Feeds it down low. And again, App State smothering Charlotte below the goal line. And they'll try and settle things down. Well, Nick, this is starting to look a little bit more like the first period where Charlotte had App State hemmed in their own end a lot.
You can tell it all stems around Ian Brown. As soon as he stepped out there and got possession of the puck, he started with a right side rush. Oh.
Got a chance in front, and it'll be covered up by Ware with 3:21 to go.
Looks like Brown just knows where to be and when. They're prime examples right there where he skates in front of the net and gets a one-timer chance that Ware just got a hand on.
We are down to the final 3:21 of period number 2. And I do wonder if, App State's trying to manage things a bit. They've got some bodies that are probably pretty tired over on that bench because of that penalty kill. Have to manage that through the end of the period. Puck cleared out off the draw, but it'll be picked off in neutral ice and sent back in by Brodeur. Return to sender Aiden Hoey. He'll play it up that far wall and out. App unable to control though. Swatted at the blue line. Riley Brady advanced for Richter. He'll take a shot wide of the goal. Poked up but not out by Muchacho, thrown right back into the corner. App State trying to turn the tides a bit here late in the period. Richter in the corner. Work back up to the blue line. Here's Aiden Hoey, throws it off the wall, collected by Robbie Richter. He'll throw it wide. And now Riley Brady. Brady pickpocketed. It'll be moved out by Owenby. And Charlotte will dump it in with 2:26 to go.
The possession has sort of been back and forth for both these teams at the second half of this period. But App State just really sort of in a stalemate here in terms of offensive possession. They're getting the puck. They're looking for the chances. They just can't find them.
Now down below the goal line, App State again will work the breakout. Hoey plays it up the wall. Riley Brady trying to sweep it out unsuccessfully. Knocked down by Suter. He'll play it across, open space out in front. They can't connect. Wide open there was Beeland. And now App State will send it down the ice, and looks like it got out of play.
What a nice 1-2 by the Charlotte forwards right there. Little spin around, but just the finisher couldn't get it done as he tries to spin and looked like he was looking for a backhand shot on Ware, and it just goes right by him.
Down to 1:49 left in the period. Arnett on the draw for App State, unable to win. It'll be shoveled down low by Behrman, and App State spins it right back out. Arnett looking to connect there with Jason Beck, who has trouble with the bouncing puck. Charlotte moves it back out. 2-on-2 as they move in transition. Shot hits a body on the way through. Second follow-up there from Beeland ends up in the corner. Less than 90 seconds left in period number 2. Back at the blue line, it hops the stick of the defenseman Kuserin out of the zone. They'll just shoot it back deep. Down below the goal line, Beatson steps away from a hit. App State looking to clear, pinching in. It'll be held in the zone by Larson. And now a stretch pass finds Arnett. Late chance here for App State. Arnett, high slot, shoots it over the net and into the glass. He'll get back to the rebound on that near wall. Played up to the blue line. Moresco shoots it back down low. He'll pinch in to hold the zone. Arnett to the middle, and we've got a whistle. Looks like it's a hand pass on the Mountaineers with about 47 seconds left.
Arnett showing a little flash of Datsuk right there with a little heel drag on the defender as he's laying out, but he gets the shot and it just goes right off of Brainen.
The faceoff will come out on top of the Charlotte blue line here. James McGlade will take the draw for App State, but it's the Charlotte center William Bradley winning the draw. On an edge caught there by an App defender, chance in tight, and Bradley shut down by Ware. Good chance there for Charlotte. Below the goal line, Bradley back out. High slot shot coming from Bauman. That one hits a body and deflects up over top as we're down to 30 seconds in the period. Bauman along the wall. He'll be knocked off the puck. App State able to take control. Played up the far wall and chipped along by Brady. Richter finds it. He'll work past his defenseman and down low. Wrap chance, stuffed. And the rebound goes to the gold jerseys. The Niners clear it out with 8 seconds left in the period.
Yeah, right there, Walters loses an edge, and Charlotte player came in looking for a chance, but Ware stood tall.
Shot from the high slot doesn't get through at the buzzer. And we come to the end of period number 2 after a 6-goal first period. We didn't see any in the second, but Nick, it was a pretty tightly played period.
Absolutely. No goals scored, but offensive chances were created, sort of back and forth. App with one penalty within the period, but 49ers couldn't convert. We have ourselves still a 4-2 game.
Looks like our own Kendall Smith is down with Coach Mugno of App State. We'll send it down to Kendall.
Well, Matt, really great performance from your team there in the second. You were able to slow things down offensively on Charlotte's end. How were you able to do that?
We just had to contain in our own zone and, make sure we're pressuring the puck. If we start winning races, it'll turn around for us, We really had to lock it down in front of our net, and that was a big key there to hone it down and relax everything. Deep breath.
You mentioned winning races. You've got a little ground to make up offensively here in this final 20 minutes of hockey. What do you want to see from your team from that standpoint?
I want to see a little bit more from my depth. We have a lot of depth on this team. We knew it coming into here. We were confident in it, and we're getting outworked in the bottom 6 and even beyond our first line. Our first line's doing everything for us tonight, and shout out to them.
We'll get a nice cut here. Obviously, the conditions a little bit more difficult on outdoor ice. How do you feel your team has adjusted to the elements here?
I think they've just adjusted okay. I think the biggest thing is the heat for them, where you just got ice packs for them and everything back here. A few of them are overheating, but it's just something we got to deal with and manage and power through.
Hey, Coach, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kendall. Well, we still have 20 minutes left in the 7:04 outdoor face-off. It's a 4-2 lead for Charlotte over App State.
Some bike racing going on here at Truist Field in between periods. After 2, the Charlotte 49ers are still up on the App State Mountaineers 4-2 after we saw a high-scoring first period. The second period, the offense took a bit of a backseat to the defense as neither team was able to score after a 6-goal first period. I'm joined by Nick Norred right now. Nick, you were color commentating that period. What did you see out there? What caused that to become a stalemate in that period?
I mean, it was App State getting settled in ultimately. Right off the bat in the first period, Charlotte scored within the first 3 minutes. And you could tell that App just looked a little uneasy, but in that period, you could tell they got settled in. They called it sort of a deep breath period. And now they want to come in and try to change that momentum and have the tides turn their way.
Yeah, and both defense finally finding their footing in this game. But not only that, now that the ice is settled, we've seen the puck sliding a bit better. We've seen a bit more consistency from both these lineups, kind of playing the brand of hockey that they wanted to play. And well, neither team has been able to score. But a couple moments there, post after the whistle, we saw some physicality, some scrums, a little bit of extracurriculars. I mean, what did you see out there, Nick?
I mean, you could tell App State came out looking for any momentum they could get. As soon as pucks got to the UNCC net, they were the first people in and they were battling for it no matter what scrum happened.
Yeah, and Charlotte has done an excellent job of responding to the physicality of App State. While App State does seem to lead this game in hits, we don't have an official number. Charlotte has been popping right back up, burying the puck in the net and doing what needs to be done to get these plays done up to this point. Now also you look at App State, they did adjust to kind of allow Charlotte less room there. They weren't able to score the 4 goals they scored in the first. We thought we were on pace for an 18-goal game, but now we're on pace for this game ending 6-0. What do you expect out of this third real quick, Nick?
I expect both teams to come out swinging. This is the last period of one of the biggest games of their lives. If they don't come out with their heart on the line, I don't know what they're doing.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with some third period action here at Truist Field between Appalachian State and UNC Charlotte.
We are the Mountaineers.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
A warrior mom.
an endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
Is
unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is opportunity, energy, innovation, community, and results. This isn't a typical university. It's Charlotte. Of the 3 top 75 public research universities in North Carolina, only one powers its fastest growing city. The difference is Charlotte.
4-2 lead after 40 minutes for the Charlotte 49ers. Chris Lehman back alongside Nick Norrid as we take a look at some of the highlights from period number 2. And Nick didn't have any goals, but it was physical and the goaltenders were tested.
Yes, it was. Right here out of the gate, Sean Roach comes flying and levels the App State defender. That was basically all that went on here. A bunch of extracurricular activity, some good shots on goal. Right here, as you can see, App getting in and battling quick on the goalie. But no goals were scored this period. But lots of contact, as right here, there's a good chance by UNCC that's stopped by Ware. Right, there's where number 17 loses his edges.
Yeah, it was a big period for the goaltenders, as the 2 goaltenders were really the stars of the show because they had to keep their teams in it. We did not see a lot of space out there for the 2 teams. I think a lot of it has to do, as we've talked about throughout the course of the night, is it's a little bit of soft ice. It's tough to predict what the puck's going to do.
Yeah, it's definitely ice that none of these players have played on before. Very unorthodox. So they're going, like we saw with number 17, that was Whaley, that just loses his edge, got the puck taken away from him, but luckily Ware got the stop there. This ice has definitely presented a big challenge, but they're starting to get used to it as we go into this third period.
Oh yeah, I think as you look at the way that this game has gone, both teams have gotten some bounces. It feels like Charlotte's probably had a few more go their way. The home team tends to have it go that way, but if you're App State, I think you need some bounces to go your way in the third period, and you're going to have to finish them when the chances arise. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look ahead at the final 20 minutes of the 7:04 outdoor face-off. Less than 5 minutes until we start the third and final period between App State and Charlotte. Chris Lehman and Nick Norwood with you. And Nick, as we look ahead to period number 3, there are a couple things that I think are the focal points. One, keeping the game simple, not letting the ice conditions dictate too much of how this game is played. And the other thing is discipline. And if you get a power play, you got to take advantage.
Absolutely. You could tell from that second period that the refs were being a little lax on blowing the whistle. So, a lot of players started testing their chances, and obviously Arnett was the one that got called for doing that. But yeah, they're going to have to watch out here and be very careful about how far they go with these extracurricular activities. And like you said, keeping the game fundamentally simple, because you can't do too much on this ice or the puck's going to go flying all over on you. Bounces are going to happen, like bouncing off the backboard in front of the goalie. We've seen that a lot, which is very unorthodox, but you're going to have to take that into account.
It should be a very exciting final 20 minutes. Charlotte has a 4-2 lead as we head to the third.
We are the Mountaineers.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching, and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls, and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
A warrior mom.
an endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
Is
unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is opportunity, energy, innovation, community, and results. This isn't a typical university. It's Charlotte. Of the 3 top 75 public research universities in North Carolina, only one powers its fastest growing city. The difference is Charlotte.
There you see the Charlotte 49ers making the walk out of that home dugout here in Truist Field and out onto the ice as we get set for the final period of this 7:04 outdoor faceoff. It started way back last Thursday as Auburn took down Coastal Carolina 9-4. Then we got an overtime game where South Carolina took down the North Carolina Tar Heels. A 4-2 win the next night to wrap up the first weekend as Alabama defeated NC State, and it has been a heck of a second weekend so far. It started with an overtime game between ECU and Georgia Tech, the Pirates coming away victorious on Thursday, and last night it was a come-from-behind victory for the Georgia Ice Dogs. 4-2 going into the third period here as App State trails Charlotte. But Adam, as we get into the final 20 minutes, I'm sure App State would love to find themselves in a third overtime game this weekend.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, we saw App State come out pretty sluggish in that first period, giving up four goals to Charlotte. But now, at this point, both teams were at a stalemate in the second period, and I think that's more so App State's speed, what they were expecting coming into this game, a closer, more defensive game, where the offensive, high-scoring game plays more in Charlotte's favor. So you have to think if App State wants to come out and make this a game, they're going to want to outscore Charlotte just 2-0 flat here and really tighten up defensively like they did in that second period.
Yeah, they did a much better job of managing the front of their net, and they're, again, going to have to do that here this evening in the final period. They'll switch ends one more time, so on your screen when we get the period started, it'll be App State attacking the goal to your left and Charlotte attacking the goal to your right. As we get set for the period to start, we're going to throw it down to ice level as Kendall Smith was able to catch up with Coach McCarthy of the Charlotte 49ers. Kendall?
Yeah, guys, I just skated across the ice to talk with Coach McCarthy. I said, what do you want to see more about your group during this period to get back to where you were in the first from an offensive standpoint? He said more intensity, and he also talked about just winning those 50-50 puck battles. He wants to see his team tighten up a little bit in the D zone and just get back to where they were in those first 20 minutes, guys.
A bouncing puck as we get things rolling here in period number 3. Shots now favoring App State 28-23. They'll bring it into the zone. Tremont shot. Bodied down by the goaltender in Brainin. As they jam at it on the side of the goal, covered up, and we're getting the tempers here early in the third period.
Yeah, Tremont went for a slap on Charlotte's goaltender, Brainin there, a little bit late, a little bit of an extracurricular activity. As we're going to see, Tremont just went for one last tap, and he's met by two Charlotte defenders, Aiden Behrman guarding the front of his net, guarding his goaltender, defending home ice there.
Just 27 seconds gone in this third period. Good pressure to start from App State as they've got the Niners back on their heels. Tremont has it pop off his skate. Arnett spins it back out in front, looking for Tremont. Unable to connect. Now Charlotte looking to carry it out, and we have a whistle and a penalty. A cross-check is the indication. And we talked about discipline and power play opportunities during the break, and the first power play opportunity this period, and their first of the game going to App State.
Yeah, and that's something that App State hasn't had as much experience with as Charlotte. App State definitely the less disciplined team, and I think we spoke too soon as actually this is going to be a power play for Charlotte. It's a cross-check on Lucas Tremont, who has been an integral piece for these App State penalty kills as well. That's going to hurt them a lot in this 5-on-4 for the next 2 minutes.
They had initially opened up that Charlotte penalty box, but it will be a cross-check, as you mentioned, Adam, on Tremont. And this is somewhat of a make-or-break penalty kill for Appalachian State. You really don't want to fall behind by 3 goals here in this third period. Charlotte will control the face-off. It's swept down low by Behrman and worked back along the circle. Shot from an off angle for Roach is knocked down by Weyer. Charlotte back in control of the rebound, though. In that near corner, rather, Morrow working through the contact of Seth Johnson. There are 2 49ers there now trying to work on the defenseman Johnson. And App State defenseman does a great job. Johnson shoots at the length of the ice. That will kill extra time after he bled a good 10 seconds off the clock along the wall.
Seth Johnson's a big body. He'll be happy to hold it up against those half-wall boards for the entire course of the penalty kill. But Charlotte sending in everybody but the kitchen sink there.
That'll be turned over right as they come into the zone as well, and Jason Beck fires it back down ice. Halfway through the penalty, a cross-check to Tremont of App State, and maybe a chance here shorthanded if Arnett's able to get to the puck. Along that far wall, he'll play it at the blue line in the skates of a teammate, but Beck able to settle it down, and App State continuing to bleed clock. Nice hit there from Arnett along the far wall. And after that first sequence in the offensive end for the 49er power play, they have been held in their own end.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds left on this power play there's not much opportunity being built by Charlotte as they had a little possession, but not much of a high danger chance earlier.
Ian Brown's pass picked off, and the App State penalty kill can work back up ice. Along the right wing, cutting to the middle, Beck shot deflects up in the air. It will float in on the goaltender. Brayden stops play. 16 seconds left on the power play.
That whistle also allows the Mountaineers penalty kill to make their first shift change in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. I mean, Beck and Arnett did a fantastic job there on the penalty kill, but you could tell they were getting gassed there at the end. They needed that whistle.
Charlotte wins the face-off. Now they get a chance to push up ice one more time with the man advantage. Larson gains the red line, shoots it around the wall. Owenby first to it. He deflects it back to the middle. Backhand pass to the middle, denied for Brown. He'll get it back up top. One-timer for Larson off the pad of Weyer. Power play over. 49ers now 0 for 2 tonight on the man advantage. We'll see if they can turn this power play, though, into some zone time. They're doing so at the moment. Shoveled back down low by Owenby. Second effort for App State clears the zone. 3 minutes gone in period number 3. On that far wall, Tremont has it knocked loose. Aiden Sutter trying to enter the zone. He's pickpocketed, and the Mountaineers back the other direction. Richter cycles behind the goal, looking out to the slot. Backhand try, gets caught up in skates. Still loose in the crease, and it'll be knocked away and out of danger for the moment. And the try off the rebound is sent right back in on goal, and Brayden will hold on.
And right there is a perfect example of a guy who's got to get going for the Mountaineers if they want to get back in this game. That play was started with Robbie Richter breaking in with speed and then carrying it around there, making that pass to the center. It feels like Richter, while he's had the speed on the wing, hasn't been able to find that penetration in the middle of the ice. Now that he's able to connect on that pass, that is paramount to the Mountaineers getting back in this game.
About 16 and a half minutes left. Face-off won and cleared by Charlotte. It'll trickle in on Weyer. He directs it into the corner. Johnson hacks it around the wall, and it'll be shot up ice for Robbie Richter. Played into the middle. Brady has trouble controlling the puck. 49ers clear it back up ice. Aiden Hoey skates it right back in. He's in hard on the forecheck, knocks a man down, but play will continue. Up at the top of the blue line, shot deflected wide, and again, Charlotte will clear out.
App State really turning up the pressure, trying to be physical anytime a gold jersey touches the puck right now.
Along the goal line, shot swallowed up by Brayden, and he will hold on.
Nice little move with speed there from McGlade, but once again, Brayden up to the task. He's having an excellent day right now, facing 30 shots from App State, only allowing 2 goals. He looks comfortable in that blue paint right now. We talked about some goalies struggling in the lighting. Brayden does not look like he's struggling at all right now.
49ers first to the loose puck, and a miscommunication there. Owenby, or Zadarko rather, was sprung loose, but he couldn't find that headman pass. And Charlotte will regroup in neutral ice. Floated in towards the net. This one misses the goal, but it ends up popping out in front and forcing Weyer to play it, so no icing and an offensive zone draw for Charlotte. Well, just about 5 minutes into this third period, and we're still seeing these two teams in a bit of a stalemate. It just seemed like the puck had a lot easier time finding the net in the first period. App State to the corner with the puck off the faceoff. Worked around the wall for Jason Beck. He'll look cross ice off the stick of Tremont, who will chase it down below the goal line. Backhanded through the slot and out of the zone. It'll be a free clear for the 49ers.
And right now for Charlotte, you're seeing a lot of Aiden Behrman and a lot of Garrett Casera. We knew we'd see a lot of him as they both have the most minutes on this team right now, but they know a storm is coming right now from the Mountaineers, and they're trying to weather that storm.
Tremont centering pass deflected back to the blue line, thrown towards goal. And Brayden will hold on to that shot from Jason Beck.
But also on the other side of the ice right now, you pay attention to App State's lines, you're seeing a lot of Tremont, Arnett, and Beck. Now we know that was the first line. We knew they were looking to get a lot out of them, but Coach Mugno told us rolling all 4 lines was the key to success, and that doesn't seem like the Mountaineers are able to do that right now.
And the big thing to me is they've been able to get some more zone time as this game has gone on. Heavy hit from Arnett. He's going to head to the penalty box. A little bit late on that hit on Machaccio. And we've talked about discipline and kind of keeping your head on straight. And I think we're starting to see App get a little bit frustrated because they played better, but they haven't been able to get the result.
Yeah, and there's an argument there that Arnett was finishing his hit, but they haven't been giving anybody that today. They know this is a chippy game. That's a full 3 seconds after he gets rid of the puck. You're going to be called for that all the time, and that hurts again to get another top-line guy. First Tremont, now Arnett in the box for 2 minutes for the Mountaineers when they're trying to claw their way back into this game.
It is officially called a roughing penalty on Arnett. The face-off will start outside of the App State zone, so they do catch a bit of a break there to start the power play. But the other thing to keep an eye on, if you're an App State fan, is how much this zaps their energy. The more time you have to spend kind of chasing and killing penalties, the more energy you have to lose, and they've still got to find 2 goals in order to even things up here. One thing they have done well, though, is kill penalties. Right now, Charlotte 0 for 2 on the man advantage tonight, and when they've lost the zone, they've had a lot of trouble regaining it.
Yeah, and that's something they knew would be an issue coming into this game. But not only that, they seem to have a lot more speed in 5-on-5 than they do on the power play, trying to move intentional as they force a turnover there in their offensive zone.
Nobody knows where the puck is. It's sitting in that far circle. Eventually, App State looking to clear, but it'll be held in at the blue line by Mora. Now Bauman. Cross for Morrow, looking back across, puck deflects up in the air, having trouble settling it down Roach, and App State able to skate it out in the form of Riley Brady. Brady down the right wing, bodies a man up, he gets upended as the defenseman had lost an edge there. If you're App, certainly would love to see a penalty there, but I think because Bauman just lost an edge and went down, the officials kept the arm down as well.
Yeah, and everyone on the App State bench stood after that one. I don't think they're happy about that call because I do think their point is he still fell. It's still a tripping call, but you're right, he lost an edge. That's not going to be called there.
Just under 30 seconds left on the Charlotte power play. Just like their first power play of the period, they've really been stuck in their own defensive third for most of it. App State bleeding clock, and they'll be sent the length of the ice by Seth Johnson now. 10 seconds left on the penalty to Arnett. One more push for Charlotte. Brown sidesteps a check, trying to chase the puck back down. The Mountaineer penalty kill, able to clear it, and now a steal and a chance for Jason Beck. He'll tee up a slap shot and hit the glass with it as the power play comes to a close. Arnett out of the box, takes the shot, rebound chopped at, and Tremont can't find the net with it. And of course, Charlotte doesn't like the contact on the goaltender, even with the loose puck.
App State's doing anything they can to try to get a chance because Brandon's squaring up every puck right now. He's swallowing these up, not giving App State anything. Of course they're going to come in for the late hits. They're going to try to whack the glove, try to snow the goalie because they can't get anything going on a hot goaltender in Braden at this moment.
Well, and even in that case, I don't feel like Tremont got in there late. The puck was loose. He did make contact, of course, with the goaltender inadvertently as he tried to make that play. But yeah, Charlotte, very protective as any hockey team is of their goaltender. And the face-off is going to stay in the Charlotte end here with 12:18 to go. Oh, it'll be Ryan Bongren on the draw for App State, but it's Dylan Sessa winning the face-off for Charlotte. Niners unable to clear. Picked up just inside the blue line by Beelan. He'll skate it out. Has Sessa on the left wing, who's knocked off the puck. Beelan back to it. He's knocked down, and another penalty coming up on App State. And this might be what ends up doing in the Mountaineers. They have not been able to stay out of the penalty box. They had just one penalty in the first 2 periods. This is their third in the first 8 and just over 8 minutes of this period.
As you see more fighting right now in the corner. I mean, can I be honest with you for a second, Chris? A lot of players on this App State roster said this is the biggest game of the year, this most important game of the year. Well, you haven't stayed out of the box in your most important game of the year. You can't stay disciplined in your most important game of the year. It is, with with all due respect, kind of pathetic to not be able to control your emotions when you know this kind of game is happening. And yeah, it is becoming an impossible task with each passing minute and each Charlotte advantage for the Mountaineers to get back in this game. But credit to Charlotte for sucking the Mountaineers into these fights after the whistles, trying to get them angered and staying calm and being able to stay even-keeled. But now we do have both players offsetting penalties in the box right now, I believe, if we're looking at this correctly.
That is what it looks like. It'll be both 17s. So for App State, Tyson Walters is in the box. For Charlotte, it's Kyle Beeland in the sin bin. We'll see right now it's 2 penalties up on the board, 1 aside. And I think we're going to play some 4-on-4 hockey. That might end up actually working in App State's favor as you have a little bit of extra space out there.
Yeah, and that's actually, now that they got that Charlotte penalty after the whistle, that's a bit of a blessing for App State. That's a sigh of relief. You thought you were going to have to go out there, kill another penalty, have to send the puck down, weather the storm some more. But now, as we can see here, the battle in the corner, a lot of stick work, guys falling down, some extra cross checks down in the corner. You never like to see that from Tyson Walters. And then coming in later, you see 17 on Charlotte, Kyle Bellan come in, and now both captains are going to talk about what the assessments are here.
There's a 4-minute penalty up on the board for Walters, and if you look at the replay, I think that was right. Walters, at that point, was kind of knew he had the penalty and did what you kind of consider the smart thing there. You can see him here; he just continues to go at Beeland, and that's where he gets the extra penalty. But he does get Beeland to respond, and at least draw 1 penalty out of that as well.
So we'll get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, but out of that, Charlotte is going to have another power play. So App State has to find a way to capitalize on this 4-on-4 before they find their way back down, as you see Walters giving some more shoves there. A lot of physicality in this game tonight. Both teams, while they're familiar, really don't like each other.
But with the double minor, it's going to be, I want to wait and see if they change things up. It's a 5-on-4 right now in favor of Charlotte. Thought that would start after the 2-minute penalty expires to Beeland. And I think that's what they're still trying to get completely ironed out here is what the power play situation will be. But based on what's up on the board now, it should be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes and then a 2-minute power play for Charlotte.
Right, and I was just going based off the board here with the information, just thought, hey, numbers don't lie. I guess numbers do lie sometimes if they're typed in incorrectly. So we're still seeing some captain talk. We're seeing Riley Brady skate over. We're seeing Sean Roach talk to the referees right now.
But I wonder which team this favors more, this little stoppage and break, if it gives App State a chance to settle things down, because I think you were pretty spot on there. They haven't been able to keep their emotions in check here this period, and as a result, they found themselves in the penalty box too much. And you wonder if having this little break to take a breather and settle in, if that gives you that little break that you need to get your composure and get back into this game, because they are 1 bounce away from being 1 goal down, and then you never know what could happen.
And now off the bench, Toby Gleason, who we thought would be injured and not playing in this game, started the season with a broken ankle in the first game. He's been on the bench, he warmed up, haven't seen him much in this game, but now he's serving the penalty with Walters, and now it looks like it's going to be a 5-on-4 in favor of Charlotte.
Yeah, so 5-on-4 hockey here for the Niners. Presumably, there's still an official at the scorer's table right now talking with the scorers down there, but it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the number of players on the ice right now.
We're starting to hear some boos. I think some people
Everyone wants
play
to see
on.
more hockey.
And I can't blame them. I also am ready to see more hockey as we finally see guys line up into the face-off circle. I think we might be getting closer. I think we're getting closer, Chris.
I'm not 100% sure what the discussion is right now. There is a linesman over at the App State bench talking with the coaching staff.
But he is essentially in position there on the far blue line. That is kind of his jurisdiction. As I guess we're still trying to iron out details with the coaching staff.
And again, down in the box for App State is Tyson Walters and Toby Gleason. And Beeland in the box for Charlotte. And again, a power play for the 49ers after the double minor to Tyson Walters. And they did adjust the clock, so the double minor and the minor to Beeland cancel out at least partially. So it is just a 2-minute power play here for Charlotte. They'll try and set up in the zone. That's been a problem whenever they've lost it. And they'll lose the zone here again. They're able to regroup and work back in though. Down that left wing, Sutter. Left on the wall, App State takes it away. They're gonna move out. Riley Brady aggressive on the penalty kill. He gets knocked down and the App State bench up in arms, and we do get a penalty. The arm didn't go up until the reaction came from the App State bench, but that one was too blatant to not get called. We'll get another look at it here, and a lot of credit to Riley Brady on pressing the issue here, and he's negated almost 3/4 of that penalty kill.
And see, because Larson came in from the weak side, that's going to be a penalty every time. But Workman was already stepping up to him. If Workman just finishes that check, that's not an interference call, and that's not going to be called. But because Zach Larson came in from the weak side, the Mountaineers get a blessing here and get to make it 4-on-4 for a little bit.
Well, we talked about the emotions of the Mountaineers a lot here recently. Now we're seeing the emotions of the 49ers a bit as well. It's a little overly physical on the power play. And now we've got 4-on-4 for another minute. Centering pass slides through the slot. Nobody gets a touch to it. And now the 49ers break it out. Moved along Bauman. He'll walk in transition. Loses it, regathers, and sweeps it wide. Now Arnett absorbs a check. He'll look for space and throw it off the wall to be collected by Jason Beck. Beck dispossessed. Bauman steps around one man into the zone on sides, but it's sent right back out. Now you can see these two teams, feels like they're skating in quicksand a little bit. The ice has been soft, of course, with the warm weather conditions, but it just feels like these two teams can't quite get things flowing the way they'd like to normally.
Team's not really playing to the speed they'd like to at this moment. Charlotte was a little bit quicker out of the gate, but App State has understandably looked about this slow all game with, like you said, the conditions of the ice.
Thrown around the App State wall, and it'll be collected by the Mountaineers. Penalty is over. Charlotte now 0 for 4 on the man advantage tonight. If App State ends up tying this game up and finding a way to win, that would be the story for Charlotte, unable to capitalize on the majority of those power play chances.
Yeah, and while Charlotte obviously scoring 4 goals in that first period, in my mind, the goal right now is, or the storyline right now is Benjamin Brainin. That was his 32nd shot he just faced. He has been a lights out for Charlotte on what is probably the biggest stage of his career.
Oh yeah, we've heard the crowd here at Truist recently. Huge crowd tonight, and we've got Kendall Smith down rinkside. She's got a good view of that crowd from down there.
Stands here at Truist Field. They've been electric all night long, so it's been so much fun down here at ice level.
Well, now App State with an abbreviated power play after the penalty to Walters expired, or at least the first half of it.
And they only have 3 seconds left here off this face-off, so you have to think the plan is getting your setup right off the face-off, get a quick shot, crash the net here, but of course we'll see what Coach Mugno has, as now it looks like the face-off is actually going to be outside the zone.
Yeah, they'll move it out into the, they're going to go all the way down. Another penalty, an interference call on App State here. And unfortunately for the Mountaineers, they haven't been able to get out of their own way.
And that truly is the storyline. We could talk about Brainin. We could talk about Charlotte's offense coming hot out of the gate. The Mountaineers have been unable to get out of their own way. Charlotte did win that first period, but since then, this has more been Appalachian State losing this game due to undisciplined hockey.
They do still have time to get back in it. 9 minutes and change left in this contest. Down the right wing, that'll be brought in by App State. Spun around there on the play was Richter. And the Mountaineers unable to get much out of that rush.
You have Richter and Tremont together. Mountaineers want speed.
Chance in front. Save made by Weyer. Still loose in the slot. Turnaround shot ends up wide of the goal into that far corner, that near corner rather.
I think that first shot was blocked by Seth Johnson sliding through the slot.
Larson plays it off the goalie, loose in front. Clearance doesn't get out. And Charlotte will go back to work again. It's Larson. Shot deflected just wide. He worked up the wall, slapped out of the zone. Well, not quite. Second effort does get out, and now App State can get a breather.
And it's taken a few tries, it's taken a few efforts from Charlotte, but I think that was some of the best sustained pressure they've had setting up in the offensive zone. I mean, now is the real test. Can they break it out of their own defensive zone and enter with speed and with control?
Down the zone, and the shot deflected up and out of play.
And that was the speed they were looking for from Drew Bauman entering there. Drew Bauman able to carry it in with a couple strides, able to do exactly what he wanted to do, but a good defensive play by the Mountaineers as they're able to clear that puck out. As stepping into the face-off dot, Zach Morrow, or sorry, that's William Bradley stepping into the face-off dot. He is flanked by Zach Morrow on his right wing, though, on this power play unit. At the point, you have, of course, Aiden Behrman holding down that left defensive position. And then you have Drew Bauman next to him coming across your screen right now as the top right defenseman here for this power play setup for Charlotte, as we have some referees talking right now with Charlotte. You see Mugno pleading for whatever reason is going on down there, but 49 seconds left in the Charlotte power play. They've been unable to convert, but we can see what they can do here as they have a chance to set up here in their own zone. Face-off one back, it's controlled on the half wall. It's up top to Behrman. Behrman sends it down. Roach controls it on the half wall, into the corner. Back up to Roach. Roach settles it, gets it across to Bauman. Bauman takes a shot, deflected off wide. Into the corner, chasing it, trying to get it back up. The Mountaineers get a clearance, though, and that'll be enough to kill a few more seconds of the power play. 23 seconds remaining for the 49ers, as now they're in their own defensive zone. Roach makes the outlet pass, and he connects with Bauman. Bauman with speed, drops it off across the zone, looking, but not connected. So now bodies falling, Roach falls over, puck goes back out. Behrman decides to send it back in, hits Weyer in the chest, and that's going to be sent down by the Mountaineers once again, as now Brady's out there, and Brady's all alone in the wing. Brady, he catches Charlotte flat-footed. He gets caught up to, drives the net, and that's in the net. And that's in the net, but they're not calling it as that net was up. But that is a goal for the Mountaineers. At least the video board is saying it, but the refs are conferring. Riley Brady throwing his arms up. We could have a one-goal game, but the net was off. We don't know what the call was right now. A lot of chaos around there, and now some booing as the refs confer. Taking a look at the replay, Brady pushing it through, but Mountaineers pleading with the referees. Now we see Brady getting caught to, sliding to the net, pushing it through with one hand, and the net goes off. We can't really see where the puck crosses there. If it crosses before the net is off, though, that is a good goal, assuming Brady didn't shove him there for a goaltender interference. So we can't really get a good look at that right now, as the referees are continuing to confer around the Mountaineer players, but Charlotte players are setting up in their defensive zone as we get another look at it. Brady strong with the one hand, shoving it through with the other. His skate into the blue paint, and now we are officially entering a review, but App State is lining up in the offensive zone, and it looks like that is going to be ruled no goal, at least based off the way players are standing. Brady trying to shove that in, but that is going to be no goal. And now we're going to see the Mountaineers try to get possession in their offensive zone. So still 4-2 with 7:06 remaining. here in this outdoor classic third matchup between App State and Charlotte as that's one back. And now at the point, Johnson sets it in, it's low and it's wide. And that puck corralled on the boards. Peter tries to send it up, and that goes to Sutter. Sutter trying to get a shot, and that goes wide. Now on the boards is Owenby. Owenby flips it up, and Seth Johnson controls it for the Mountaineers. Chopped up the boards, and there to control it, Reese Workman has time and space as he gets it over to his partner, Zach Larson. Larson looking for the stretch pass, unable to connect with Owenby, and now Johnson gets it. Johnson flips it up the boards. He gets it up there to Bongren. Bongren flips it out though, and now Charlotte has possession trying to come back, but they just give it right back to the Charlotte defense. So now that puck sent back around, unable to corral it right now are the Mountaineers. Stuck in their own zone, Nick Whaley trying to control it at the half wall. He decides it to send back it behind, and that ends up to PJ Craig, who sends it up the boards. Some different looks in the Mountaineers, getting some different lines out here right now, but Beck still out there pressing with Whaley. The shot sent wide, and now back up to the point. Reese Workman keeps it in. Workman sends it down low, controlling it, looking in front, and that ends up on the stick of Whaley as he breaks out with a couple 49ers. He decides to down deep as he gets crunched on the wall by Zach Larson. A massive hit by Larson, and the Charlotte crowd is energized with that one. And now coming the other way with Sutter, but he gets his pocket picked by Arnett. He delivers a hit to Arnett, and he goes down to the ice at the hands of Sutter as Workman sends it up the boards. Now Arnett has it, crossing over his blue line. He halts, he dumps it over. Now Beck, he takes a shot off the pad, saved by Brainin. Puck kept in by the Mountaineers. They're working puck in front. Brainin just covers though as Tremont goes for the slash, and he's met by 5 Charlotte 49ers as they're all fighting. Now it's 3 Mountaineers versus 5 49ers. Beck, Tremont, Arnett going in there, and Charlotte is working them. You see Aiden Behrman down on the ground. You see Zach Morrow getting into it right now, and popping back up off the ice are the Mountaineers and the 49ers, the black and gold jerseys. Some guys missing equipment, a bit of a yard sale, and it looks like we have yet another Mountaineer being ushered to the penalty box as Lucas Tremont will serve a penalty, but not alone, it will be offsetting penalties. On the other side from him will be number 49 for Charlotte, Zach Morrow. As Tremont goes in late, he shoves it in, but that's well after the whistle and immediately met by 5 gold jerseys. And that scrum, that's the hockey that we expected. Both these teams setting up group chats, organizing some fights, some scrums before the game. And now they're proving that they want to play physical late in this game with only 5:11 remaining on the clock. So now we see both captains, Roach and Brady, talking to the head referee at this moment, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to understand how the rest of this game is going to go. You have to imagine that the referee is saying something along the lines of, I'm not going to let this game get out of hand. You have about 5 minutes remaining, and so you don't want to see anything dirty, anybody get hurt, especially after you see a 5v3 there in the corner. But App and Charlotte, both showing that physicality. Both teams seem to have 2-minute penalties listed on the board right now, as the guys I mentioned, Zach Morrow serving a 5-minute major, it looks like for Charlotte is what's listed on the board, and Lucas Tremont 2 minutes on the other side, as now we can see what happened there as Tremont goes in late. He goes for the stuff, and immediately all 5 gold jerseys on the ice go for him, and in come his friends Beck, and he also gets some help from other teammates. Tyson Walters has been all over the place, but now we're trying to iron out the details. The Mountaineers still a 4-2 game, still down 2, but they might have 3 minutes of an advantage here.
Oh yeah, and we've had a lot of weather delays over the last couple of weekends. This is the first time we've had what I'll call an officiating delay, where they've had to figure out exactly how to call everything and get everything figured out. But as you mentioned, it looks like it's going to be extended time on the man advantage. And the other thing worth noting is that since it is a 5-minute major, they can score as many times as they'd like. And now you get a look at Zach Morrow making the unique walk into the locker room. He's got time to play to the crowd as he walks off the ice and over towards that dugout.
And he points to the scoreboard. That's got the App State fans upset, but the Charlotte fans riled up. I mean, it stinks you're not going to play in the rest of this game. But imagine how that feels walking through a stadium like this, having everyone look at you. No, you took the other team to task. You gave the fans what you wanted. Gotta feel pretty good if you're Zach Morrow right now.
Oh yeah, he is going to be a little bit nervous though, I would imagine. We should have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 and then 3 minutes of power play time, assuming nothing else happens. We've had a lot going on here in this third period, but if they do get that 3-minute power play, because it's a major, if they score, they stay on the power play, and that does become a big deal if you're App State and Charlotte here, because you have a chance. You don't just have one power play here, essentially, if you're App State. If you score, it's another power play and then another one. So a very, very big next 5 minutes. Really, the rest of this game going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, because essentially the entirety of the rest of this game, there will be a player in the box for Charlotte. And App State immediately looking to apply the pressure. 4-on-4 here, as we mentioned, for 2 minutes. Seth Johnson now along the wall. Played back down low in the corner. Robbie Richter under some pressure from Larson. Loose puck swept in front. Johnson couldn't get to it, but pinching in, Riley Brady holds the zone. He sends it all the way around the wall. Johnson shovels it back down low again. Now Richter knocked down, back on his feet, still has the puck as he walks to the slot and floats one over the goal. Got deflected on the way. 4.5 minutes left in this contest. Still life for App State, but they need a goal quick. Thrown around behind. Richter turning, slot, backhand try, pad save made by Brainin. Niners can't clear. This is looking like a power play for App State already, and it's still 4-on-4. Deflected on goal, chapped at, and it'll be covered up by Brainin. Interesting to see there, Adam. After that whistle, nothing.
Yeah, and you have to imagine for a minute there you saw both captains talking with the referees. Like I said earlier, it's probably a conversation of, I want everyone to leave this game healthy. I want no more dirty stuff. I know you guys are rivals. Play a clean game for the final 5 minutes, and I think that's the result of that conversation right there.
Advanced off the draw, thrown in front, still loose there, and the gold jerseys come away with it. They've got space and speed. Ian Brown trying to step around his defender, but right there was Tyson Walters to shut it down.
Ian Brown trying to do it himself, trying to get his third of the game, trying to get some hats thrown on the ice here in Charlotte.
I don't know if the hats would quite make it there. You got to throw that hat a long way. Slap shot from the point. Oh, Wayers never saw it. The rebound, they score. Late reaction from the goaltender. He couldn't seal the post, and it's Aiden Sutter making it 5-2.
And just another example of Charlotte being better at capitalizing on App State's mistakes. Appalachian State had possession for about 1.5 minutes down in the offensive zone with no real penetration. Charlotte gets it for 30 seconds, and they are efficient. They find the back of the net. They find chances for Aiden Sutter, as now we see that fight that led to all this. We saw that poke by Tremont. The Charlotte bodies leading into it, but now Charlotte taking advantage of it as a little bit too slow to cover his post was Wire there.
Yeah, he just never saw the shot, so getting back to that post was going to be difficult with the late reaction. And now it's an even bigger hole. The good news, though, still the silver lining, you could say, for the Mountaineers is outside of the final 10 seconds, they will be on the power play even if they score a goal. So there's still the opportunity to at least put a few in and put a scare into Charlotte late. But the hill has gotten a lot steeper for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, the 3-minute power play to get a couple goals felt more feasible, but 3 to get 3 is a near impossible task, especially with how you've had Benjamin Brainin playing up to this point. It feels hard for App State.
Shot from Arnett, knocked down by the goaltender Brainin. He'll cover up the rebound with 3:04 to go.
And now, for the rest of this game, or at least up until the final 10 seconds, App State is going to be on the man advantage. Expect to see Tremont, expect to see Beck, expect to see Arnett. These usual guys you have seen all game stepping up for App State, they're not getting off for the last 3 minutes, I can tell you that much.
Shot from the point, good blocker save from Brainin. Had to look through a couple of bodies to make that save. Another shot through traffic, pinballs wide. App State starting to get the good chances. Heavy hit there in the corner, and a clean one at that from Riley Brady as he knocked the puck loose, and App State gets back control. Shot into the glove of Brainin, and he'll hold on with 2:45 to go. And, you know, we've talked a lot about App State not being able to find the back of the net. They haven't always been able to get to the danger areas. They've been able to do that a little bit more here as the game's worn on, and Brainin's still been able to make some good saves.
And that's a focus of the Charlotte defense. They can live with teams on the outside, but as App State gets chances in the middle, their pucks have been sitting and they just haven't been able to get to them. As they've had chances in the middle, they just haven't been able to capitalize on.
Down low, it's Brady. Played back up the half wall along the near side. Chase Arnett into the middle. One-timer off the iron. Great chance there for App State. Starting to run out of time. 2:25 to go in the game. 2:13 now on the power play. Brady under pressure. He'll be ridden into the wall. Now a hand goes up. We've got a penalty coming. I think this is going to be on Charlotte.
See a little bit of some soft shoving a little bit, Seth Johnson shoving down Garrett Casera there, but looks like it is going to be Casera who's going to serve the penalty, and now it's going to be a 5-on-3 for Appalachian State.
Just about for the rest of this game as well. 2:09 left, and it'll be a minute 58 of 5-on-3 for App State, and I think as a result here, they're going to call a timeout, because if you're the Mountaineers here, if you're going to score 3 goals, you're going to have to score one really quickly here.
Yeah, it's all about playing offense with efficiency, as you see here. Speaking of offense with efficiency, Aiden Sutter able to just chase down one loose puck, turnaround shot, pops the bottle, gets the models. Aiden Sutter, I mean, just a fantastic turnaround shot over the shoulder of wire. App State just hasn't been that clinical in their finishing like Charlotte has. They've been able to find those corners, able to find those spots at the goal we've given them. Where Brainin, he's been squaring up every shot. It feels like every Appalachian State shot is finding the pickaxe inside that Charlotte C.
Yeah, he's been very good, as you said, about squaring up to the shot and putting himself in the right position to make the save. And he's a big reason why Charlotte, despite the fact that App State, after getting off to a slow start, has at the very least played even with, if not a little bit better than the 49ers. And Brainin has been able to keep them off the board for the most part, but they're actually going to empty the net. So it'll be 6-on-3, and when you're down 3 in an outdoor game like this, why not?
And you know what? You have nothing to lose. You're in a rivalry game. Get aggressive. Prove you want this, and with 2 minutes, now's the time to do it.
Unfortunately for App State, they won the draw, but it was one out of the zone. They'll have to reestablish. Not too much resistance to that. Arnett stepping in, looking across. The pass intended for Richter was deflected away. Mountaineers back in control. Johnson looking to play it to the middle. That was deflected down low. Touch to the middle now with a pass from Richter is blocked. And now Charlotte has a chance to clear. Great hustle play by Richter, though, to block it down. And Johnson will keep the zone. 1:33 to go. That one deflects up over the goal. Pressure still continuing from App State. Brady now across, shot coming, and it'll be held onto by Brainin. 1:23 to go.
And if you noticed late in this game, Charlotte is collapsing around their own net, especially in this outmanned situation. And yet, Appalachian State continues to force the puck in the middle. While you have defensemen, you have Jason Beck, you have Seth Johnson wide open at the points, and they continue to force it in the middle. And Charlotte takes it away.
Johnson trying to sneak one through traffic. That hit someone and deflected wide. App State setting up that firing range. High slot shot from Beck missed wide of that near post. Now it's Arnett in control. Leaves it for Johnson. That shot ends up high. Rebound, they score! With exactly a minute to go, it's stuffed home on the side of the goal. I believe it was Brady on the finish. And it's now 5-3.
Yeah, and that's what the Mountaineers need, but it feels like too little too late, Chris, as the Mountaineers breaking the seal for the first time since this first period. Is only 59.9 seconds remaining on the clock. As the shot, the patience from Riley Brady after that shot careens off the glass, and he's able to get it and shoot in pretty much a similar spot to where Sutter scored, but this time with a little more patience.
Yeah, wasn't too dissimilar to that last Charlotte goal. And now they're going to have to hurry.
And now as they cross the red line, goalie's leaving the net again. Shot on net too.
Rebound collected on the far wall by Richter. Looking cross ice, it'll be taken off the wall by Arnett. 40 seconds to go, and the puck bounces over the stick of Johnson and out of the zone. Now Tremont. High slot shot off the boards. They score! Stuffed in exactly the way they scored just a moment ago, and 2 goals 32 seconds apart have made this a 1-goal hockey game.
Well, now, with a few seconds remaining, if I'm Coach Mugno, I have an idea, and it kind of has something to do with the backboard pass now that it's worked 2 times in the past minute.
It was almost exactly the same thing. Tremont threw it wide off the wall, and right there in the right spot was James McGlade. And he finishes it off to make it a 1-goal game and make this final 28 seconds very interesting.
It's a massive face-off here.
And they're gonna go right to work, charging in. Pass to Arnett is off the skate, and having to stay in the net is Weyer. Down to 20 seconds left. Picked up now by Brady. He'll go cross ice. Skating in with it, Richter looking to the middle. Tremont through the blue paint, nobody there. 12 seconds left, spun to the middle, loading up, the shot gets blocked. Out of the box comes a 49er, diving after it with 5 seconds to go. Sent to the middle by Beck, nobody there. 49ers will clear, and they survive a late charge from Appalachian State.
Too late from the Mountaineers. And before this game, we spoke with Charlotte's coaching staff, and they said the biggest key to this game was coming out of the gate fast, was coming out of the gate hot. That's exactly what Charlotte did. While App State has an argument to playing a better game in the third period, Charlotte winning that first period was all they needed to win the rest of this game. Taking care of business right out the gate, coming out with speed, coming out with intention, and coming out with a clear game plan was what separated these 2 teams tonight.
Yeah, I will say Charlotte got a little bit lucky. They had time on their side late. I think once they took that 3-goal lead, they felt like they had finished things off, and credit to the Mountaineers. They could have folded things up and called it a game at that point, but they continued to press, and they gave themselves a chance. In fact, there was a pass right through the crease that just didn't have an App State player on the receiving end, because that could have tied the game. And App State really made things interesting here late as we finish up the 7:04 outdoor face-off with another exciting game. And outside of the first game last weekend, every game was really essentially a 1-goal game. The only one that wasn't was the Alabama and NC State game, and that included an empty netter. So some really tightly contested games, and it was a fantastic 2 weekends.
Yeah, and this was an absolute pleasure. This was a great hockey game. We knew these teams didn't like each other, but, I mean, this was better than I could have imagined for a hockey game over the last 60 minutes.
Well, it looks like Kendall Smith has our player of the game down there. 2 goals tonight for Ian Brown, and Kendall's got him down there on ice.
Here tonight, your group gets it done in a rivalry matchup. What was the key to success tonight?
Honestly, just pounce on them early. The boys were moving their feet from the drop of the puck. Thanks to our coach for keeping sure everyone was intact, everyone knew the plan, and just had to go out and execute.
You're from Charlotte. You have the opportunity to play here on this outdoor ice in Uptown Charlotte. How much does a win like this, a game like this, mean to you?
I mean, it's special. There's not too many ACHA games. You get 3,000 people in the stands. I don't think there's many hockey games in general at this level. You get 3,000 fans. So it's just a special opportunity, and I was glad the boys got to embrace the moment.
The group was just able to make it happen from a total team effort. Who else on your team would you like to shout out tonight?
Honestly, my line mates, James Zadarko and Zach Morrow, they always put me in the best spots to succeed. I like to shout out the coaches for finding line chemistry, and honestly, I can't thank them enough.
Ian, great performance here tonight. A multi-point performance, not just the 2 goals, but an assist as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kendall. We're going to step aside here in Uptown Charlotte. When we come back, we'll wrap up the 7:04 outdoor face-off as the Charlotte 49ers survive a late surge from App State, taking them down 5-4.
to Uptown Charlotte. It was an exciting finish to this one. When it looked like things were going to settle down is when it really picked up, and the finish of this game, Adam, was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was an awesome time. I mean, App State looked like they were down and out of this game, but they fought till the very end, making this a one-goal game in the last minute of the game. Something I would not have expected. That felt like both teams were just going to hit each other and run out the clock for the last minute or so of the game. But the Mountaineers never took their foot off the gas. Charlotte did a little bit at the end, and that kind of hurt them.
Yeah, a lot of credit to App State. Of course, you take a look, they did have some trouble keeping the emotions in check, and I think at the end of the day, they kind of ran themselves out of time a little bit because they had to kill off a lot of penalties.
Yeah, and we can talk about the Charlotte defense forcing them to the outside. We could talk about the goaltending squaring up every puck. But ultimately, I think it comes down to the penalties. I think it comes down to the lack of discipline from App State.
Yeah, you got to give them credit. They were able to get things back together. We talked about that long stoppage when they were ironing out what happened right here as you're seeing it right now. I think that helped App State take a breath, reset mentally, and after that, they really started to carry play. Of course, it does help when you have a 5-minute major in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, you saw App State just unable to regulate their emotions, and there, one of the goals Aiden Sutter was able to get. Charlotte special teams wasn't really able to get anything going, but that 5-on-5 against App State, whenever they've been able to pounce on a loose puck, like you saw there in that Sutter goal, I mean, they were able to take advantage of every opportunity that fell into their laps. Appalachian State just wasn't tonight.
Yeah, and that's what hockey really is about. It's about the puck luck and taking advantage of the bounces that you get. But these two teams, as we expected, delivered a fantastic sixth and final game of this 7:04 outdoor face-off. And as we wrap things up, it really has been about as good of a 2 weekends as you could have asked for.
Yeah, it's been awesome here. You see fans filtering in and out of all college colors, all college reps, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone just wanting to come down to Charlotte, take in this Truist Field. I mean, we had some of the nicest weather we've had in a while here. It's a beautiful day up here in the booth. It's a great time to watch hockey here in Charlotte. I had a fantastic time here, Chris.
Oh, yeah, me as well. I think it was a fantastic event overall, and it wrapped up in an exciting way. The final count here in the final game of the 2025 7:04 outdoor face-off, 5-4 Charlotte over App State.